Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to the Big Think Dimension with Dan and Bob Video Games. The machines are coming for gamers.
Are they not?
Chris Wolfhart
Somehow the rubble burnt down.
and Dr. Agro
You should never go with a YouTuber to a secondary location.
here on GigaBoots.
That's good fucking advice.
It really is.
It's just a prank, bro.
Oh, you're blindfolding me. Oh, that's my cell phone you're taking.
The funniest part of this story is we literally did this to Spiff because I'm a paranoid person. But you shouldn't do that. Spiff should have let me kidnap
Yeah,
him.
no, like some of the stories, Spiff should be dead. Like, you guys should have murdered him by now, statistically speaking.
Well, it's not too late.
Day ain't over.
It's not over yet.
It's not over yet.
Japan is rapidly progressing to the point where they're just doing the knockout game on YouTubers at all times. I feel like America needs to start having some of that energy.
Yes. I will repeat this yet again. I was at a fucking party full of fucking engineers. And one of them, because they found out what I do for a living, they're like, "Oh, would you be more comfortable?" And I wasn't uncomfortable per se, but they just asked me. They were like, "Would you be more comfortable at like a party full of YouTubers?" And I'm like, "I would run screaming." Are you kidding me? TwitchCon's literally
Dan,
my worst nightmare mentally.
Right.
Now, I have no idea if they meant it this way, but that just comes off to me as, would you be more comfortable in a party also full of other poor people?
I don't know, because everyone has a drastic misconception of like how much money there were even a couple years ago people who probably thought Bob and I were rich.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably one person who still does,
Oh, absolutely.
because that's just how that
There's a
works. So,
misconception. That was all over social media today for artists and YouTubers alike.
really
Yes.
marvelous. We're almost becoming the Onion comic, and it's like greedy YouTubers versus democratized AI. Speaking of which, I'm gonna go ahead and immortalize this. I don't think I've saved it yet. I want to immortalize the art that was drawn of us because of last Friday's shenanigans with Pipistrello. The intro last week, I said I thought of a new way for us to get people to buy Pipistrello. It was not, in fact, me using the opinions man voice, as it is being called. It was, in fact, us lying to you about what game we were playing and then playing Pipistrello and yelling at you the entire stream to go buy Pipistrello. So that worked fantastically. One moment. I think our legacy here is like rock solid for the rest of time. We got this made. Look at that. That's golden.
Look,
That is a beautiful thing.
yes.
Forgotten franchise. That's a fucking new game in like what, 3 weeks maybe?
2 probably. I'm now thinking, man, we should have actually had Donkey Kong 64 booted up and like played it for 10 minutes.
Just
every
to trick-
hour, just to trick people. They're like, yeah, it's Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong 64,
No,
come
you should have pulled up a video. It pretended you were playing while commenting on it and had it slowly fade into actually being Pipistrello.
The volume slowly slides from one game to another. There's a link to Chase Pento's art on Blue Sky. So fucking good.
It's called the flip swap, where the mechanic is we just change the game one time to whatever we want.
I hear most streamers they don't need a fancy name for that. They just do that.
Yeah, some people like they play a bit of a game, then they played some other game, and it's very weird. We've never done that.
How does that work? I don't even know how that would work. Is that a real thing? I don't get it. You know, shit's looking real menacing today.
No, it's fine out there. The sky looks great.
No,
It's an average Alabama day. I don't know the problem.
Yeehaw! I'm gonna go mudding in this. is stuck in a hell vortex.
Right.
I can't hear yeehaw without thinking of that lasagna cat.
Yeah, that's well. I mean, there's a reason that's the yeehaw on
That's
our
the
soundboard.
yeah.
'Cause
That's
it's
the
a
reason
perfect
that's the
yeehaw.
soundboard.
That man nailed it.
And unfortunately, that brings me to the Po Folks menu. And Chris reading that.
Onion rings.
Yes.
Onion rings.
How did we not get a sponsorship from Po Folks? We ate it and we were like, oh, this was actually all right. Wow, this is so much better than that weird Italian fast food place. What was the name of that place again?
Fazoli's?
Fazoli's.
Yeah, Fazoli's is a chain place.
Right.
Like it's a chain shithole.
Yeah.
I mean, Po Folks used to be a big thing until most of them collapsed.
Yeah. Now it's like 3 locations. They're like, we now do online delivery to Nashville. It's like that's fucking hilarious.
You should make that entire read like a 250,000 point redeem.
Jesus.
What did I talk about making? Like, it was an insanely long thing, and I was like, we should just make this an insanely expensive redeem.
Yeah, what was that?
I mean, we've been talking about a new donation because we actually don't have unique like donation level notifications, but we were watching an anime recently and went, oh my God, it would be so amazing if they donated and then it played this song about money.
Uh-huh.
So that's a
Oh,
thing.
was it gonna be the Kill la Kill loads of money music AMV somebody made?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, well, we're gonna be showing you something after Big Thing to mention.
Hell yeah. Niceville is such a weird vortex of places that closed everywhere else, like Ruby Tuesday, says Spiff. He's right. Did you know that, Aggro? Did you know that most Golden Corrals and Ruby Tuesdays is closed, apparently? And that our specific region of Florida is just some weird...
I mean, I know Ruby Tuesdays wasn't doing great. Look, Niceville, the city, was invented by the Air Force in the 40s to test something. We're just not sure
We're
what.
not sure what. One moment, let me get some Twin Peaks music to go to this.
Like, you can find the document, like, Niceville is a twin city. It's Niceville and Valparaiso. And you can find the documents of where Valparaiso's from and how it was founded. Fucking Al Capone bought that town. Niceville just shows up one day.
It's going to be weird when an investigator from the FBI shows up because of the death of Timer Chan.
Right? A twin city, you say?
A twin city. A twin city. I'm drinking one of these poppy cherry colas because I was handed one. And that's what I'm drinking. That's how easy it is to sponsor GigaBoots. Hand me a thing. Our sponsor today is this slice of pizza. Thank you.
Where's it from? I don't know.
I don't know.
We'd like to thank Bad Dragon for their partnership.
Oh my God. Maybe don't hand me things from there. I don't know if I could even stream holding a thing from there, but... So, given that we talked about Pipistrella nonstop on these podcasts,
Yeah,
and we did a whole spoiler cast,
we did.
and then we tricked you all into watching it last week. Oh, and by the way, we actually do have a chat log of every viewer who showed up, and if you didn't, you're banned. You know, we don't really need to talk about it anymore. Bless you.
No.
We're good. Which means I get to just say, hey, we're celebrating the 4th of July tomorrow by letting you all finally vote for the theme month. You hit on the Donathon goal last year. You get to come out and vote stupidly, the most American thing you could do on the 4th of July. So, please be excited. There are so many good choices, like 7th Gen Action Game Month, Reboot Month, the usuals from before, like Bat Month.
Yeah, Bat Month.
Bat Month.
Muso months.
Muso Month. All sorts of great stuff. Metal Gear Solid Month. That's true. That is in there, and we would love to do that.
Yeah, those
because
games are
as
great.
it turns out, Bob and I love Metal Gear, and I do a pretty good Solid Snake, I've been told. Sonic Month 2. That's true, because we didn't get to Free Riders or Heroes or Black Knight.
It's our third one. It
Or
needs a cool
Lost
name.
World.
It needs
Or
a cool
Lost
name.
World.
Yeah, it needs-
Not Lost World.
Sonic Month and Chuckles.
Sonic Boom. You didn't get to Sonic Boom.
That's true, because I
Right.
bought a copy of Sonic Boom. It didn't fucking work.
I'm sorry. And Chuckles got me. Because the first thing I pictured was like okay, so imagine a stereotypical evil clown character, but like Sonic's riding his shoulders like Master Blaster. It's Sonic and Chuckles.
I don't like Chuckles.
But he loves you.
No.
So yeah, we're going to be streaming Golden Axe Beast Rider tomorrow while people vote. As a pre-show, we're going to be streaming ActRaiser. So it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. You're going to want to show up and fucking vote, cuz it's going to be good and important. This first wave of voting might be the most important wave, cuz half of the shit disappears after wave 1.
It does. This thing gets narrowed down quick.
Yeah, it's kind of depressing. I thought it was going to be Days Gone Remastered, so I'm happy. You know, the one thing we don't believe in is being predictable.
Right.
I love the comments that go, Jesus, what the hell did you do? No, we're not in news. I left that up from last week, apparently. One moment, let me. Thank you for pointing that out. We are not in news yet.
Thank God.
And once we enter it, we will be there forever.
yeah.
So anyways, be sure to stop by the stream tomorrow to vote. Or else. Oh yeah, and I have to say this here because we won't have a big think again after said stream before the other one. That Tony Hawk game's coming out next week. We're streaming it when it comes out. So please hang out for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3+4. That's going to be like what is basically midnight on Monday / Tuesday morning.
Right.
We'll be sure to let people know. It's going to be good shit. You have never seen a freak like me stream that game because it's not out. And honestly, I don't. How many freaks like me do you think will actually go live at midnight to stream it? Because I imagine some of them.
Yeah, maybe like 2 others.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But yeah, no. It's gonna be good. We're gonna bitch about all sorts of things they changed about levels.
Yeah, how many patches of grass do you think have been added?
I don't know.
I'm scared.
I
That's
don't
just
know.
1 level and we saw 2.
I know, they only showed us 2 levels and I already had thoughts, capital T, on one of them. And the other one seemed fine.
Maybe it's just going to be every single Tony Hawk 4 level. Is
Maybe.
messed up.
I have no idea.
Right?
Not a clue. Hey, Bob, you play anything?
I did play some stuff.
Okay. Well, that's too bad because I played Fast Fusion
Oh, okay.
and I get to talk first because I'm mean.
How'd that go?
I gotta say, it's not just the visuals. There's just something that's a little like not as strongly appealing as Fast RMX. Just for some reason, like they have the fusion system where you fuse the ships, and then I did it correctly, and it's like, good job, you made like the best shit in the world. I'm like, great. I have no use for this money now
Oh.
because there are all these other ships, but they're worse specs. So if I fuse them with anything, it would make worse ships. So what do you want me to do now with all this money?
Guess you're supposed to be enamored with the solely with the appeal of fusing them.
Like from an aesthetic angle, because
Right.
it does fuse the aesthetics even.
Right. This is
I don't
like
know.
one of those things like Pokemon or the SMT games. Like I need to fill out the list, even if it doesn't make any true sense to fill it out.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe when you fuse 2 types of vehicles and keep doing it, it's like SMT, and you'll eventually find the 2 of them magically go together after you fuse several. I don't know if this even changed though.
Yeah, I don't think you can chain them.
Okay,
I think it's
all
just the
right.
one step, and then you got to undo it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a little depressing. I played through basically all of it on all difficulties, and so now what's left is what's called superhero mode. And that's like individual challenges. Like, oh, finish this race, but you literally can't crash once or you're dead. Also, jumping in this uses boost energy. Also, your boost energy is your shield energy. Lots of mechanics like that. And it's like, I don't know, 20 or so of that. And I think I'm going to mess around with that a little bit. But either way, I was hoping when they did the graphics rehaul that I would be able to come back to you and be like, this is a delightful game. I think everyone should try it. It's called Fast Fusion. It's on the Switch 2. If you have a Switch 2, check it out. But I'm kind of just like,
Maybe play the first one?
Yeah, I honestly, what I was planning to do, like after this podcast, especially now that other plans fell through, is just play Fast RMX to be like, how does that feel directly back to back with this one? So next week I'll be able to talk about that more specifically. Anyway, you played some video games?
I played some video games.
Let's talk about video games.
I got in the playtest for Might Rhea, which is spelled the word might, then Reyya, all connected.
I'm sorry, that's Mighty Ina. You played the Pokemon Mighty Ina?
Yes. This is the new game from the Assault Spy devs, which people probably don't remember Assault Spy. I covered it when it came out back in 2018. It's a DMC like indie game where you play as a like anime aesthetic looking spy dude and fight other spies. And
there's also the secondary character who is like an blonde American like superhero girl.
And this is you play as a character kind of similar to that character, but she's a superhero schoolgirl who flies around a like it's a bizarre like warped destroyed version of Tokyo, so like buildings are just floating in midair and you're fighting weird monsters that can also fly. It's really neat. It's almost like imagine a Budokai Tenkaichi play style, but for a single player game. So everything is, you're always in the air. You hitting the attack button will fly you to the enemy to attack them. And you literally like to change targets. You just have a third person camera you use to aim at whatever you want, and that whatever's in the center of the screen will be targeted. Which works surprisingly well. I didn't think it would. In another bizarre mechanic, you have another girl with superpowers who chases you around with a video camera, kind of like that friend from Cardcaptor Sakura. And I guess she's your manager.
Okay.
And it's the video footage of you is always in the upper right corner of the gameplay. So they have literally two renders out of the same thing. I'm like, this seems like a total waste because I've never, like, every time I look at it, it's like, yeah, that's just some awful angle that the actual character is getting on her. So it's not useful gameplay wise. Why did you make this?
I didn't realize this was being published by 505.
Oh, is it?
According to this.
Nice.
That's insane.
Yeah, they got like a real that makes sense. They'd have an influx of money after their first game was pretty decently solid for an action game made on indie front. And it makes them this game definitely feels like it has a lot more money going into it.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. I look at this footage and I go, this looks like it was fun because Goku was there. Thank you, Goku. Jesus. I'm sorry, that clip's living forever rent-free in my brain.
But yeah, it's got a lot of interesting mechanics. You build up a meter all the time that can be used for super moves. You have like delayed hits like you have in DMC to do different combos. You can even hold the attack button certain times to do other attacks. So that they have a lot more going on than you might expect from something that's Tenkaichi like. Which I'm typically against action games where you fly, like you hit the attack button, you just fly to the enemy and hit them. Like I like having a spacing element where you're like, hey, know exactly where your attack's going to hit. But at least in the context of flying around like this, they made it something that feels totally different. So I understand why you would make it like that. And it's something we don't get near enough of, just an action game that feels nothing like anything else. Like I say, it's like Tenkaichi, but it does feel radically different than that. Just the whole thought of, yeah, you're flying around is very similar to Tenkaichi. So yeah, that's cool. I don't know what's going to come out. This is just the playtest, but it does feel pretty done. They don't have any of the voice acting in English or Japanese yet. budget-wise, it seems pretty solid. I did get stuck inside some of the geometry, but I was like, yeah, this is probably going... Like, it wasn't game-breaking. I was able to break myself back out of the geometry and continue with the level. It also has some of that stuff like we saw in Metal Gear Rising and Assassin's Creed, where you have the auto-run sort of thing, where your character tries to find a path through environments if you run on the ground.
Oh, weird. Okay. Yeah.
And like always, in any game of any budget, that feels bad.
Okay.
I don't know why they keep trying to do this. It doesn't ever work.
But if it did, that would be pretty sick.
Not really, no. Because at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, that sure is holding the run button going forward. That's not exciting no matter what.
But if it did, it would be really sick.
And the other way you get around levels is you can only do the super crazy flying when it's towards an enemy. So to get through areas normally, you have to do like an air dash. You have infinite air dashes, and you have different grapple points where you hit the triangle button and she'll like fly to that point, kind of like say Sekiro or something. So it seems really neat. I'm excited. Definitely check it out. That was Mighty Rhea. Might Rhea. God,
which is Might Reya.
Yeah, it's
Might Rhea.
It's such a terrible name.
Given all the shows we've covered, all the games we've covered, I'm gonna say this is better than most, because once you see the text once, pretty easy to remember.
Even that, I've been looking at this game for multiple years now. I still call it Mighty Rhea because that's like a name of something, and Might Rhea is like, what?
I don't know. I like it. Meanwhile, I sit there with Absalom was the name of that other game, right?
Yeah,
like we were talking about
Absalom.
that. Yeah, that one I actually have to hold on to firmly because it sounds like 3 other fucking game names, and I'm like, please don't disappear. It's SEO friendly, at least. Yeah, no, that's another thing that helps with this, where I don't search the name. And like so many times I've tried to search up the names of games we're covering, and it's just nowhere.
Yeah.
Video game names start sounding like prescription medicines just so they're searchable.
Ask if Maitreya is right for you. Bob, is Maitreya right for you?
I think so.
Okay.
And if you want to play the playtest, you just go to Steam and hit the play or request access, and I got it immediately. So I don't think there's any restriction on this. I also played more of Raito Remastered. That sure is the walk back and forth between places you've already been simulator.
Hell yeah.
So much of that. Jesus. I'm like 40% in the game is still like, yeah, every chapter is going to start with you going to the new place, then going back to the old place, then going back to the new place again, and then driving out to the edge of town to go to the shrine so you can go to the dark version of the new place. It's very budget. They should have made a new game. They shouldn't have done this. But I did get to fight Rasputin. And he did that, really low to the ground Russian dance.
Mm-hmm.
And then jump backwards into a giant Matryoshka doll.
Oh, cool. All right.
And then you have to pick between the 3 different Matryoshka dolls that are flying around to find him.
Somehow I would have thought PS2 JRPG that has Rasputin as an antagonist, I wouldn't have pegged Raito as the really goofy one instead of Shadow Hearts 2. Where in Shadow Hearts 2, he is the most evil-looking man you have ever seen and summons a flying castle at the end of the first disc.
Yeah, they still want you to take him seriously, even after that. So... It's pretty weird.
It's pretty seriously sick as hell that he does that, right? You describing it, I'm shaking. Michael Caine would be bawling right now.
It really feels like there are maybe fewer character models than they wanted, because like chapter 3 or so, you go to meet the proprietress of a restaurant. And there's this one lady, and her whole thing is she runs that restaurant. Then 2 chapters later, she comes back and is like, oh yeah, I also am related to I'm like the daughter of the shipping company, so now I'm in charge of this shipping company too, I guess. It's like, Are you sure you aren't just being reused here because they didn't have any more character models? Because this backstory makes no sense with the other one. And it seems like if you were in charge of this, you were supposed to take this over 6 months ago, and it's been a week. So that was weird. But that's all I have to say about Rhino Remastered. Maybe not worth $50. Maybe wait for it to go on sale. I needed to know. Other than that, I played a decent chunk of Street Fighter 6. Mostly on my Switch 2.
On Switch 2. Switch DOS.
Yes.
Bob, you know why they call it the Switch 2?
Because you take 2 looks at it and you do a 360? What is it? What?
No, we're going with that. You take two looks at it and you do a 360. This is what you come to the podcast for. Bob, why mostly on the Switch 2? What made you decide to go back to the PS5, and what was that about?
I just wanted to check. I just wanted to see, like, back to back. Also, it doesn't carry over my character rank or anything, so I wanted to see what ranks I got to with those characters on different platforms and stuff like that. But I have played most of it, even continuing forward on the Switch 2, because I have all the characters unlocked, and I like playing as Terry. Terry is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I played more of him in this game than I think any other game he's ever been in, except maybe Smash Bros.
He's a really cool guy.
Yeah.
He's a really cool guy.
And this is definitely the most fun I've had with him.
I'm gonna have to get it back on Street Fighter 6 when Alex is out.
I wonder when he's gonna be. I don't know if they give us dates for each of them or just for Sagat.
I hope it isn't backwards from that trailer, because since the last one was Sagat and he's the first one that's coming out.
Uh-huh.
So I hope it isn't like it wasn't who was there was Alex. Oh, Sea Viper was the second one, I think. And so I hope it isn't Sagat, Ingrid, Sea Viper, Alex.
I assume they're gonna make us wait till the very end for Ingrid. That's my guess.
Yeah, she is like bizarrely like one of the most powerful characters in the Street Fighter universe. So I guess it would make the most sense for her to be last.
It's just the weirdest addition too, so they probably want to be like, oh yeah, that's the one you're looking forward to, even if she's kind of widely hated.
It widely hated. I watched a video essay about this character. I did not play any game they were in because she's only been in 2.
Uh-huh. I'm not saying the hate's rational. I'm saying there's hate.
Let me be clear. If you watch a video essay about Street Fighter characters, for the love of God, do anything better with your time. Watch the Street Fighter cartoon, for the love of God. That's a good use of your time.
I can't think of the Street Fighter cartoon's so fucking funny.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It's enormously funny.
That animated gif of Guile like raising his hands in the ring and everybody's throwing garbage at him is one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Dude, you watch the episode and it's unprompted. People fucking hate him. He's doing the same shit as everyone else, but they throw trash at him.
That's the funniest thing to me. That isn't a single thing. That happens in multiple episodes. That's recurring.
And again, he's just doing what everyone else is doing. There's no explanation.
It's what a beautiful show.
Also, Tiny DJ.
Yeah, Tiny DJ. My favorite part of it is watching these episodes and realizing, oh, they've just taken complete random scenes they liked from other films and cartoons, putting them in with random characters that make no sense.
One moment
That's how you do it.
We were doing The Color of Money with Chun-Li.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean? She's gonna pull out the pool stick and be like, this is Doom. Like, what the fuck is going on?
2 different bomb defusal scenes with Guile.
We lost so much when people just stopped recreating movies in both and TV shows in both other TV shows and video games.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Here's the story. Here's my serious story. I don't give a shit about that. Put the last 3 movies you saw in there, and they better be movies from before 2005.
I agree with the sentiment. But also, I watched X-Files, and every time they did it with like a really good thing, and their version was absolutely dog shit, I was really bummed out and disappointed. But when Street Fighter does it, it's hilarious,
Right?
Because for Street Fighter, it's like individual scenes and moments, and for X-Files, it's hey, what if we did the world's shittiest version of John Carpenter's The Thing? And I'm like, I would not like that for 44 minutes.
You ever think about how you can like draw a direct correlation between the prominence of the MCU and how shitty Mortal Kombat story modes became?
No, I don't, but now I am, I guess.
I could see it.
Look, all I'm saying is Mortal Kombat 1 has some real X-Men Dark Phoenix energy.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
It does.
It does.
God.
Which, by the way, I watched a couple weeks ago and keep forgetting to bring up on Big Thing to mention. That is not worse than Apocalypse. That is better than fucking Apocalypse.
This man is a
No.
liar.
He's lying to you right now.
Things happen in it.
Yeah, things happen in Apocalypse that are one fucking hilarious. Not a
There are
single
hilarious.
fucking thing. No,
That is no.
The
When
opening
she's
with the
touching
space
people
shuttle's
and they
funny,
turn,
and that's
when she
it.
when she's touching people and they turn to dust and blow away, that is hilarious.
That is nowhere near as funny as Magneto ripping a bridge from the other end of the earth to move at an insane distance because Apocalypse is cupping his balls.
I love Magneto's weird fucking shipping container hippie commune that he throws Phoenix out of.
But what if instead of a shipping container hippie commune, he was throwing shipping containers from South America towards some weird portal thing? Look, actually, genuinely, I ironically enjoy Apocalypse much more than I could Dark Phoenix at all, because the fucking Oscar Isaac fucking Apocalypse is hilarious.
That is really goofy,
If
but
he was someone else, there's a good chance I would not enjoy that movie nearly as much, because his fucking acting is unreal. His outfit, his makeup, everything is fucking hilarious and perfect and shit.
Dark Phoenix is hilarious to me because they couldn't decide if they wanted to do the actual comic origin where she absorbs space radiation on one of the X-Men's outer space adventures, which they go on bizarrely often for characters that are allegories about bigotry. And the stuff from the old movies where it was some kind of childhood trauma. So in this, they just make it both. It's both somehow. Fuck you.
No, it's a fucking mess.
Yeah, no.
Dark Phoenix is so obviously a mess.
I think one of its biggest sins is it's like somehow not any better than X3. It's like the easiest win in the world. You just need to be better than this terrible stain of a bad movie.
It is better than X3.
I am not sure which way I would go on that split, because I'm like, there's some funny things in X3, and you get a cool shot of, Angel.
I got fucking incensed because they went to all the trouble to surf Dracula Xavier being bald by the Apocalypse pyramid he was trying to transfer his consciousness into with making him bald. And then in this movie, he's just regrew his hair.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna call it an even split on X3 and Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix until the day we have to do the podcast.
God, I'm worried.
I also watched the New Mutants. I may be the only person in the entire world who watched the New Mutants. That movie is bizarre.
Okay.
It is a different genre from every other X-Men movie. It takes place entirely in one like institutionalized school. They bizarrely they don't change comic shit at all. So Colossus's sister, who is magic, you can play as her in Marvel Rivals, is just like, yeah, I have this mutant power. And also I learned magic from demons.
What? Okay.
And then in the last 10 minutes it becomes like superhero movie schlock, and they just punch a big CG monster a bunch, and you're like, that seems kind of out of place from the rest of the movie.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, weirdly,
They did
haven't
this.
watched that. That's It feels like we need
you know
to.
that you know that inside you there are two wolves meme?
Mm-hmm.
That is the plot of this movie. Literally, they directly quote that in this movie, except they change it to bear.
Why would you change it?
Because they are adapting a story from the New Mutants comics about a girl who is like possessed by, she's like a Native American who is possessed by the spirit of the devil bear. And that is what they use in this. And the big CG monster is like the trauma bear that has escaped.
Okay. All right. No further questions.
Yeah.
All that's left is Deadpool and Wolverine.
Like all of Deadpool movies or only certain ones?
Only the last one.
Okay.
Every single one except Deadpool and Wolverine.
Okay.
Bob,
Yeah, what's up?
you only barely touched on playing Street Fighter 6.
That's true.
Then we started talking about how great the Street Fighter cartoon is, and I admonish people for thinking they should spend their time watching a fucking video essay about Street Fighter characters. A
Yeah.
thing, again, that you should not do. What did you said you played Terry more in this than anything else?
Yeah.
You like playing Terry?
Terry's a lot of fun. They made him like they gave him tons of different options for ways to chase down enemies and stuff. It also ranked me in the platinum rank just from doing the initial play of him, which I don't think it should have.
Mm-hmm.
But that did let me find some opponents that were really, really difficult and really fun to fight. And if I ever beat one, they get super angry and either immediately quit or start pulling out combos I've never seen kill me instantly. So that's funny.
That's very fitting. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Fantastic.
That happened to me when I tried to pick up Blanca. Because I fucked around with him in training mode, and I'm like, well, it seems like if I throw this shit out, it's really hard for normal people to deal with it. And that worked. And I won, I think, 9 out of 10 of those 10 ranking matches. It's like, you're in platinum now. And I wasn't in platinum very long.
I also they've added a ton of music to this game, like a bunch of old music from other earlier Street Fighters and other just games entirely. And then new remixes from Cap Jams, which is their internal Capcom band.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have a good way to just make a playlist or something that's played for when you're doing generic fights.
Oh.
So I had heard Mainon's theme like 100 times, and it's like some terrible, like, I think the song's okay, but I've heard it so many times that it just sounds like it's in from that Nintendo Switch fitness game. Ring Fit. It sounds like a Ring Fit parody song. And I'm like so tired of hearing it. So I found out I can change it per character for what songs it chooses. And I'm like, that's just annoying. Why isn't there a better way that you've integrated these songs? So that's frustrating. And I hope that at some point they redesign the way that whole system works, because that seems to be the only way to actually change the music in the game at all. You need to go into individual characters and change what they will play for when you're fighting is them or against them. Which is real weird because they already have a section for just like, oh, do you want to play a stage theme, a random theme, or the character's theme is a generic selection. And it's like the random theme should be any song in the game, I would think. But it seems to be a random between the stage theme or the character's theme.
It's randomly choosing one of two things.
Right? It's like, it needs to be way more than that. But yeah, Street Fighter 6 probably my favorite modern fighting game. Maybe my favorite fighting game in general. I don't know. Real good. And that's which two versions.
You like it more than Third Strike?
That's the one where I'm like, I don't know, maybe. It's real close on those. It doesn't have
Third
many cool
Strike is really
characters.
good.
Third Strike is really good. It's kind of gross. I
yeah.
love Blaze Blue immensely, like especially the first two versions. And even still, I'm like, I'm probably just Third Strike.
Right. Yeah, again,
I sure wish I could play a version of that was good on modern platforms. Thanks for fucking not giving a shit about that, Capcom.
Uh-huh.
Wait. That one. Okay. I was like thinking Blaze Blue.
I mean, either one.
Because they ripped out the entire fucking dub for the last entry of that goddamn franchise.
And there have been so many changes to that game throughout the different entries.
It's okay, though. They brought back Tager.
Okay.
It took them so many fucking entries, but they're like, maybe our boy should be able to walk upstairs. And I'm like, yes, he should. You animals.
That reminds me. Apparently, they buffed Ryu insanely in the latest
One moment.
season.
Getting back into Street Fighter 6.
So that's exciting. I've had to try to pick him up a little bit again.
Cool.
But that's everything I played.
That's everything.
That's it.
Admittedly, we were doing podcast work and stuff.
Mhm.
And all sorts of other shenanigans.
Maybe let myself play too much Street Fighter 6.
Dr. Aggro.
What
do you have
Life
to say for
sucks.
yourself?
The only thing I played any significant amount of was I got to play a little bit more of Look Outside, which is a game that is difficult to play in long sessions because it is psychologically taxing. I found a rat baby. Not a baby rat, a rat baby.
Yeah.
And then I fed it to a wall.
Oh.
I'd like to say I was forced to, but I was given the option to let the wall eat my arm instead. And I've played this game long enough to know that that wasn't a bluff. I probably would have lost my ability to wield two-handed weapons or equip anything in my offhand.
Yeah, that's like a Lisa moment.
Mm-hmm. So that's going great.
Cool.
But yeah, I really haven't gotten to play anything else.
Hey, Chris, what you been up to?
I have played one fucking thing, and that is Khazan, the first Berserker.
Oh yeah, I saw you tweet.
More like first Berserker.
That mode isn't good yet though, because she has no voice acting and they turn off all the cutscenes.
What? What? That's. What
I
do you
think-
mean? They
I
turned
think-
off the cutscenes.
Well, they didn't make those cutscenes with her in them. A lot of them are pre-rendered.
They should have just played the old ones. It was like, yeah, what?
Yeah, I don't know.
She turns back into a man
I
for
think-
these. I don't know.
I think they're gonna patch that kind of stuff in later.
Just put a really rough
Uh,
animation of her taking
so-
testosterone, and then the cutscene
Cause
happens.
fucking Khazan is Ben Starr. Can Ben Starr stop playing men with huge tits in my games, please?
No, he has to. This is his hill to die on.
I mean, he didn't in Expedition 33.
He had as big tits as you can give anybody in that realistic art style. Like that game was never gonna have Jack Reacher show up.
Metahumans are weak.
Yeah, right.
Although game developers, get the guy who plays Jack Reacher and scan him into your game.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? The next Resident Evil should feature him.
That I was gonna
like,
say
they
that
are-
he should be a major character in the next Like a Dragon game.
Yes.
They already
Now
got that
that's
to
a
play
dude that's
Carlos.
Yeah. Well, I'm just
Like-
saying, like Chris does that arc he does.
Uh-huh.
What if somehow in Requiem he's just the guy who plays Jack Reacher somehow? It's like, what the fuck is with your body, dude?
Khazan is very Dark Souls like in some ways. Like it has like every single Soulsian, like not just FromSoft, but all over stuff. Like it has Neo loot that works in a much more sane way because you just have set bonuses. It clearly fucking tells you what the things that aren't your set bonus does, and you can re-roll them
Huh.
as much as you want for money, or not money, but like your souls. But you have a thing that resets how much it costs, so it's actually pretty affordable. It's really funny how I'm like 90% sure that this game was meant to have 2 more weapon sets than it does, because it only has 3: the great sword, short sword and axe, and dual wielding and spear. But the blade phantom that you bond with and is the first major boss, he has a great hammer and claws that are part of his boss fight moveset. And it feels weird that he has your weapons and then those 2 additional things.
Uh-huh.
This game has the funniest fucking justification for reusing content I have ever seen in a video game. Because it does the Neo thing where whenever you beat a level, it gives you like a side mission that it is in a possibly altered version of the last map. Actually, in this, they're really altered. They're a lot different. Like, they're more different than Neo's are. But usually it almost always ends with a boss that you fought very recently. With changes, they change them all in some devious way, like giving one the ability to fade out of existence and teleport somewhere else. But some of the bosses in this game are like anime character, you have a one-on-one battle with them.
Right.
And there's this dude who is he's Jack Reacher size. And he has an automatic crossbow with 5 barrels that is also a flamethrower. And in one of the later missions, you find like the audio log that like Neo you get from dead bodies. It's like, I didn't know that guy had a twin brother who uses the exact same weapon as him.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, it's fucking funny. Especially since they didn't have to do that because they put a helmet on him anyway. But the guy's name is like Tarkus, and so you fight his brother Barkus.
That's a lot.
So this game is like it has like a fusion of the Sekiro parry and the Stranger of Paradise parry. Where it's like this game has 3 kinds of parries. First is you tap the block button before you get hit.
Okay.
Then you hold the block button and press triangle, and you do a Dark FromSoft style, like a Soul style parry, where you have to like match the animation up to theirs, and that makes them shit their pants and fall down and lose a bunch of stamina. And then they have the Sekiro style. You can't do anything to this attack, but this specific thing.
Oh yeah, that thing. That's getting really popular these days.
And it was fun to figure out what, like when I played Sekiro, I was like, man, why did they just put this giant warning sign in the middle of the screen? They couldn't make it a little more low key. They do it in this, and it makes it impossible to notice most of the time when an enemy's about to do it.
Yeah, I always
they just put it on top of you, but you might not be in a good position where that is easily conveyed.
Right. Yeah, that's one of those things. Like, if you're gonna do this system, make it big and loud.
It is big. It is pretty big, but it's just easy to miss because it's like a very similar color palette to a lot of the game. This game has bizarrely like this game has like the game feel of Neo. It does not feel like a FromSoft game.
Yeah.
But all the levels feel like we made our own version of this area from Souls.
Do they connect like a FromSoft game or more like a Neo game?
It's like Neo. You go through its mission. It's mission based. I think it's fun. It definitely isn't going to be on my game of the year list, most likely, unless a lot of the games I'm looking forward to really shit their pants. But I am glad I played it because I got to have a strong contender for this year's jobber category. So you walk into this dude, and he's like the leader of this bandits that is responsible for framing Khazan for this crime. And he's like, the great General Khazan, he's so famous. I wonder how famous I'll be once I kill him. And he jumps down and pulls out his 2 great swords that he fucking dual wields. And you get it. He is not difficult. You get him down to 70% health. And he's like, no, this wasn't supposed to happen. I was supposed to win. He like starts crying. And then he stabs himself in the neck with like the chaos knife that he was given by the real antagonist and becomes Virgil. He now has a katana and teleports and does judgment cut. Except once you get him down to like 45% health, he gets tired and goes back to the 2 great swords and just has a slightly upgraded version of that moveset. Which is really funny because he's really fucking hard when he's Virgil.
Mhm.
But once he switches off the katana, it's like, you're not a fucking problem at all, my man. This has the problem a lot of these games do. When I knock all the enemies' stamina, the boss's stamina down and do the big cinematic move, it should do a lot more fucking damage.
Oh yeah, Stellar Blade was really bad about that too.
Yeah, it's like the Stellar Blade thing where it's like, it does like 10% maybe. It's like, that's not enough. It needs to do like 20 at least.
Mm-hmm.
Like as it is, I usually get, if I do the boss fight correctly, I usually get like 4 or 5 off on the winning run. Like that's too many. It should be 2, 3. This has a very this game has a lot of neat things in your skill tree. Because it is actually very much like Stellar Blade, where you have pips that refill as you do things, and then you can use those to do things. One of the things is throw an energy javelin. That is your version of having a ranged weapon like the bow or gun in Neo. And it makes it sound like the world ends when it hits somebody and blows their head off. So that's a thumbs up from me. But you get stuff like the 3rd hit of your light combo now gives you a buff for 15 seconds that makes you leave after images when you attack that also attack. And it's all shit like that. I'm sticking entirely to the spear because you can completely respec whenever you want for no cost. Your skills, your stats, take an item.
Okay.
And like to the degree that they want you to completely reset all your skills whenever you change what weapon you're using. You can even have like skill sets set to like a list.
Oh, can you not change your weapon on the fly?
You can, but you want to go into your skill menu and reset all your skills because they're separated by weapon. Like you have everything, like these skills are always active, and then the ones in the weapon pages are only active if you're using that weapon.
So you need to go to the menu to change your weapon. It's not something.
Yeah, you just go to the equipment menu. Like, yeah, you can't have more than one weapon equipped at a time. That's actually my biggest problem with the game.
Oh, that is weird.
You can only have one equipped at a time. There's some evil shit in this game. This is maybe the only game that has had truly like from Softy and evil traps in it. This game has its own Blight Town.
Of course it does. Wait. Does it really? Does the town run at 15 frames a second no matter how good the machine you're playing on?
No.
Then it is not the same. It was almost Blight Town, which means it wasn't Blight Town.
It's like we made one change. We it all optimized it.
That's fucked up. That's the most fucked up thing any game dev has ever fucking done.
It gives you like 1 million gigas to look around the levels for. Like if you find all of the text logs in a level in a mission, you get a bunch of currency that you use for a totally isolated upgrade system from the stats. There's also a thing called soul stones that are things in the environment you break, and then those become a currency you use to upgrade that are different from your stats. There's also something completely fucking bizarre. I spent a lot of my time playing it using a level 8 weapon. Because the level 8 weapon had better scaling than any better stat scaling than any weapon I found. And then I looked it up and found out that weapon was from the demo. They changed how scaling worked between the demo and the main game. So weapons from the demo are just generally better than any weapon in the main game. Because every weapon in the main game, every single one, has B scaling with one stat and C scaling with another. There is no different levels than B or C.
Oh,
Huh.
what?
But the weapon from the demo had B+ scaling in one
What?
stat and B scaling from another, and that made the level difference, the base damage being higher from higher level weapon, meaningless. It outstripped it.
This sounds like the game isn't done yet.
Maybe not, but like it's not buggy. Like it doesn't feel like it has a dearth of things in it.
Right. Yeah.
It seems like maybe this was just their first time making a game like this, and they fucking made some decisions that were wrong.
Right. It's like, I just don't know how you make a scaling system like that, and like it doesn't go beyond B. Except in the demo when it did, and it broke everything. Well, I'm glad I played the demo.
I want to shout out Catalina, the character from Grand Blue. She is just Lady Knight forever now. In everything, every single thing from Asian territories. Because there's a Knight Lady in this game who looks exactly like her. And there was a Lady Knight character in Tales of Arise who looked exactly like her.
That's so weird. You'd think that I wouldn't think that Saber could be toppled like this. It's not right.
Saber's a different archetype, so I feel like if you're doing like a royal thing, you would use Saber, maybe.
I guess. I don't know. I also saw her with the text of you are not immune to Lady Knight. But you're right though. I do see the Catalina like designs a lot.
So this game makes one of the classic blunders. There's this thing you can equip called the plot is something fucked up is happening. So Sharon, the Lord of the Underworld, sends his guys out to solve it, and one of them bonds with Khazan as he's on the brink of death, and they make a bargain that the Blade Phantom, they're called Blade Phantoms, the Blade Phantom will give Khazan his power, which is a devil trigger that isn't very good, and you unlock more that all they do is they give you different buffs. But the best one is probably the first one you get. Because all it does is increasingly, like, as it levels up, it makes your stamina regeneration rate higher and higher. Like I'm like 60, 70, probably closer to 70% of the way through this game. And right now it gives me like 35% more stamina regen, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And none of the others have anything nearly as good. Especially when you consider that I would have to level them up from nothing, which they could make not a big deal if they actually are based on the experience you get from enemies and it has like a proper leveling curve. Then you could probably close that gap pretty fast. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. None of them have as good a fucking effect. Why would I switch off the one that gives me more stamina regen? This game also makes the Stranger of Paradise mistake where enemies don't have your moves. Like there aren't human enemies that just use the move set they gave you. So the enemy roster feels a little bit thin, which is a problem that also Stranger of Paradise had, because Stranger of Paradise just doesn't have human enemies.
It has
except for the pirates.
Yeah,
it has the pirates,
right?
But they don't use any, like they don't use player moves.
No.
And this also has human enemies, but they don't use player moves. So there's only like a couple.
I don't know. I always feel a little mixed on that because I like to feel my main character is unique in some way, and if I see my same animations being used on another guy, I'm like, that's weird.
You don't have to give them like the big stuff, but like Neo gives the human enemies your same move sets in a lot of cases, and
it does.
That really helps flesh out that roster.
Mm-hmm.
This also includes the Neo, like you can summon a spirit of another player and fight them, except they aren't other players. They were all manually placed.
Huh.
And also they did it wrong because they're way more difficult than Neo Phantoms.
I was going to say, Neo also has the thing of like having 12 or different weapons instead of apparently 3 in this. So it's a lot easier to feel like, oh, there's a lot of stuff here. So it's so easy
Yeah,
to
there's
give
three.
you-
There's 3 weapons and 3 armor types: light, heavy, and plate.
Man, I'm still weirded out. It's only 3 weapons because like I got those 3 weapons in the demo.
Yeah, there's not more.
That's so strange because it felt like each time I got one of them, there was also some story thing around it, and that was cool.
Well, you got it all.
Okay.
The studio who developed this doesn't even have a fucking Wikipedia page, so this seems like maybe like a first shot at it. So I'm actually make a sequel. Like you could build on this to make a real good sequel. Right, I like it more than Stellar Blade, but less than pretty much any Team Ninja one except Wo Long, which I thought was dog shit.
Yeah.
And Rise of the Ronin, which is a Ubisoft game.
Right. It's not the same genre. The Ubisoft game.
This game has NPCs, not in the sense of like ones you talk to. Like this is not the dead world that's normally in a Souls game because that's not the story.
Huh.
Now most of the places you go are super fucked up and only have bandits in them, but there are NPCs in some place. But you can't talk to them. They don't have no voice clips. They just cower when you get near them. And you can kill them, but nothing happens if you do.
Huh.
I did not deliberately kill any of them, but some enemies will stance up and run at you while you're near an NPC. And it's like, sorry, man, I'm swinging a spear. I can't really care about collateral damage right now. So yeah, good game. Most likely, I will take it back. I will take it to GameStop when I finish it.
The true sign of a good game.
Yeah. Hey, Bob, unrelated question. Do you know if Shadow Labyrinth is coming out on physical formats?
I don't think it is.
Fuck
Actually, I think it is.
Oh, really?
God, I hope.
Let me see if GameStop has it on their like website for pre-order yet. Let's see.
Yep, it's you can order it on Amazon for the Switch.
Wow, when's that happening? To Switch 2, our first Switch 2 stream. Our first Switch 2 stream, Shadow Labyrinth. Fuck me, dude. And it's gonna be $70.
No, it won't be 70.
Okay, you can buy the PS5 version on Amazon for $30.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Do you think
There's also the Shadow Labyrinth Secret Edition for $60.
Yeah, well, they
One
have to
moment.
pretend somebody will buy that.
What is?
one moment, Bob, what comes in it?
Let me see.
Shadow
Maybe.
Labyrinth.
It has a date unlike the other 2 versions.
Okay, what's it say?
December 31st. July 18th. Is that right? We're that close to Shadow Labyrinth?
Yeah,
I'm gonna need them to back the fuck off. I got shit to do.
It does not tell me what's in this edition.
it is base game, digital content, enamel pin set, map/poster, stickers, and booklet. God, I have the hiccups all of a sudden. Booklet case.
You know
There's
what's a
no
really
physical
good...
version on Xbox. Cucked.
Yeah.
Again.
I don't even know if it's coming to the Xbox. Anybody...
It is digital code only.
Hey, I'm
Okay.
putting a moratorium on the fucking word Xbox until we hit news.
Fair. No more Xbox.
Okay.
You know
Hey,
what's
don't
a really
spoil the news story.
Stop it.
You know what's a really good solution for hiccups, Chris? Have I ever told him this
God, I
technique
don't-
before? I feel like, it's been a
No,
couple
tell
years.
me.
Okay, so the best way to deal with hiccups is to vomit. It resets your
That sounds
diaphragm.
less pleasant than my mom's solution.
Oh, really?
My
I find that
mom
hard to
claims
believe.
she can. My mom claims she can hypnotize herself out of having the hiccups.
One moment.
And I've seen her do this, and it actually worked. And she explained how she does it to me, and I'm like, I don't fucking understand what you're talking about, Mom. This sounds insane.
I entered her chamber, lit only by candlelight. Yes, Hickey Hypno. Thank you. I was trying to piece that joke together. You beat me to it. Thank you, Lloyd D. Boy. You fucking nailed it. You beat me to it. You get a fucking Nobel Prize.
I believe the only thing that has scientific proof to always work is like taking an antacid, like a
Or-
Tums.
You know what's a lot like an antacid? Removing the acid from your stomach. I know this sounds like a fucked up bit, but it's not. I actually
No, what
not
you're saying
saying
is technically correct.
It's technically correct, and that's all I'm saying. I'm not recommending it.
Yeah, no, it's like that scene in Major Pain where a guy gets shot in the leg and he's like, you want me to do something to take your mind off that pain? And he breaks his finger. Like, yeah, no, that worked. You probably shouldn't do it.
Okay, so on an extremely related note, I realized something about me was fucking weird, and the older I got, the more I realized this was unique because I have not hit another person who has had this exact condition. I will consistently get hiccups from certain foods. I will consistently get hiccups if I eat a chicken carbonara sub from Quiznos. That's how specific. It has to do with how dry the chicken is, how much cheese there is, and the bacon. And things that have hit that consistently have done the same to me consistently. But that was the number one thing. It's not an allergic reaction. It's a fucking consistency thing. Something about it gives me fucking hiccups. It's not acid reflux, believe me. I've eaten things that are far worse for acid reflux than that. It is sincerely just how dry the chicken is and how cheesy that is.
You know, Dan, the longer I know you, the more convinced I become that somebody tried to Manchurian candidate you wrong.
Yeah.
It's just autism. I'm so sorry to disappoint you.
Oh no, my media literacy.
So shout out to somebody in chat who said their method was taking a full drink of water, bending over forward like as far as you possibly can, and then swallowing it. And that seems to work just now.
I've never heard of that, and that seems like that actually would work.
That is like just weird enough to be believable. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or-
like there's a laundry list of things you can append to drinking a bunch of water.
Or
It's one simple solution.
Depending off the way over.
Spiv is saying there's a Quiznos near us. I could prove it by giving myself hiccups live on stream.
We're not rejecting the premise.
Yeah.
He's trying to debug my food autism.
Now, do you think it's just like, do you enjoy the chicken carbonara
I
sub,
love
Dan?
it. Yeah. No, it's
So,
when they do it
could
right.
it be
it's
that
good.
you're just eating it too fast?
No,
Okay.
because
Holding,
I didn't
holding
eat
the
that
breath
fast the last time I
works
went.
for me, but I can hold my breath for a really fucking long time, so it takes a long time to work. I can hold my breath for like
Have you
2.5 minutes.
One moment. Have you held your breath, stared in a mirror under candlelight, and given yourself the hickey hypno at the same time? I feel like maybe this is the solution. You're just making eye contact with yourself in the smoky shadows.
I was like maybe 10 or 11 when she explained it to me, but the way she explained it was just like, yeah, I just I just predict when I'm gonna hiccup and then I don't. And I do that until they go away. It's like, okay, I'm gonna hiccup now, and then I don't. And then I wait a couple seconds, like I'm gonna hiccup now, and then I don't. And then she does that until she no longer has hiccups. And I've seen her do it more than once.
Okay, so
That tracks.
The only mental image I'm getting from this, and I'm not even kidding, this is not just so I can show this image on stream, okay? One moment. Is this... Are you fucking... I'm losing my mind. I think Windows forgot how to open a JPEG.
What?
Yeah, I don't ask me.
Well, they couldn't figure out how to use AI to do that, so they just turned it off.
Okay,
Would
so
you like
anyways...
to convert this to WebP?
So all I could think of with Chris's mom is that first she's making this face.
Oh my god.
Because she knows it's coming. And then she's making that face because she's quelled it.
No, it more looks like she's disassociating because her mouth is closed. She's just like staring forward for like 45 seconds.
I like that someone in chat was like, do not make yourself vomit on stream, Dad. And I'm like, that's not what it was about. And even if I did vomit on stream, I wouldn't tell you. There's a good chance that DK64 stream, that's just happening and none of you know. There's a really. I was not well during that. That was a fucked up stream, dude.
Yeah, it was.
It'd be so funny to do GK64 again and be like, wow, this is so much better when you're not violently ill 2 different ways the whole time. Oh, and I should note, that is the hiccup thing is happening towards the end of that because I got the chicken tender sub and there was no dressing to hydrate it. So it's the same thing. It's really dry chicken and a shitload of cheese being swallowed. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe chicken just makes people hiccup. I think we should just put that idea in RFK's head. RFK Jr. I feel like we could get this in textbooks by the end of the year. He's like, you're right. You can't fool me. DK64 isn't real. That's true. Pipistrello is the only real video game. Fun fact. Just drink a whole liter of hot sauce next time. Ugh. You want to talk about something vile. You may all think it's the worst thing in the world, but I told you the coolest life hack to stop hiccups. But the actual grossest thing was drinking Billy Mitchell's hot sauce. That was terrible.
Yeah, I just remember you saying it had, I think you said it had like a mucus-like texture.
Horrible. It's like someone just added fucking food coloring and paprika to fucking mucus. Went, what a hot sauce. It's fucking terrible.
That reminds me of that thing that Chris, I think Blue Sky posted out a while ago of the hardcore seasoning that was not your daddy's seasoning or something. It's like,
oh yeah, the seasoning where the thing is that they all have vulgar names. They all have the word shit in them, so it's like badass shit. That was the one that was baking soda, salt, and pepper.
Wow. Why baking soda? Wait one moment.
Because it's for velveting, like the Chinese cooking technique.
Okay.
And then I think you had like chicken shit was their chicken seasoning, and bullshit was their beef seasoning, and I think no shit was their salt-free seasoning, and I think there was one more. They have a website. Let me pull it up.
I love Bob's version though, not your dad's seasoning, because I don't know if I'm reading this the same way everyone else did when they heard that, but that thing's calling my dad a pussy.
yes.
Everyone else gets that read from that like tagline, right? It's just like, just to be clear, your dad's a pussy. Become better than your dad by eating this.
Okay,
One
there's
moment, that's a market.
badass shit.
It is.
There's badass shit, which is just the tenderizer. No shit, which is the salt-free seasoning. Chicken shit for poultry. Special shit for all-purpose. Bullshit for beef. Aw shit for that's hot and spicy. And good shit for sweet and salty.
That's so stupid.
Yeah. And don't they all have a message on them of like, oh, we don't use MSG.
Yes, they do.
Oh, thank God. I was so worried about my MSG. Stupid motherfuckers. Are we still doing this?
Oh, they
we
are.
still doing this with MSG?
I don't think only they are.
God. There was a brand of like dip that was similarly ridiculously gendered. Like it might have literally been called man dip.
I don't want to taste your man dip. Thank you. No, thank you.
And I remember, yep, it's mandip.com.
That's so fucking
terrible.
And I remember it because it's like, our dip is sour cream based, not sour cream, cream cheese based, not like pussy sour cream based dips.
I would prefer the sour cream. It has a completely different taste, and I think that lends itself better.
And then cheese is sweeter, and you'd think that that's normally associated with less manly.
I'm not a pussy. I'm here to make my food have less complexity and be sweeter. Actually, that sounds like someone like you would call you a pussy, actually. I wouldn't, because it's not 1995.
Like this Maddox ass fucking product has a recipes page, and here's what every recipe is. Here's the recipe for man on eggs.
What?
Make eggs however you like them and then put man dip on it. That's how all the recipes are. It's like the man dog. Make a hot dog and then put man dip on it.
Well, yeah, why isn't Maddox actually literally doing this? He should be selling his service to make these
because
awful products.
he completely recanted his book and all that joke nature, all of it. So, which makes his branding a little confusing nowadays, and I'm not even sure what he has going on.
Man cakes. Prepare 16 pancakes with Bizquick shake and pour. They specify Bizquick shake and pour pancake mix. Cover in man dip. Serves 2 or 1. We won't tell anyone. Fucking 8 pancakes is a lot, motherfucker.
Yeah, it is.
Especially covered with a cream cheese based cheese like cheese and meat dip.
Yeah, there are definitely not 2 people in this podcast who would destroy 8 pancakes right now covered in delicious cream. Well,
I need to see if they have what the kinds are. Do they have different time? There's original, habanero, buffalo chicken, jalapeno popper, Cajun, and chipotle chorizo.
I feel like most of those would be pretty weird on a pancake. Maybe that's just me.
This pussy doesn't eat savory pancakes.
hey, Aggro, quick question.
I eat them all the time now that my wife left me.
Quick
Yes,
question,
Dan?
Aggro. What's your favorite food that you eat that proves you're not a pussy?
Dan, I want you to put on your listening ears.
Yes, okay.
There is no food, the eating of which proves you're not a pussy.
Oh my God. No, that's tragic. How will I prove that I'm not a pussy?
You can't. Because you're worried about proving you're not a pussy.
No!
There might be a logic trap in here for you.
No man has proven I'm a pussy!
Somebody in chat said Rocky Mountain oysters, and like those are fried. Those are a fried, breaded and fried meat. That doesn't prove shit. They're bull testicles.
Yeah.
But that's still meat. Like, I've eaten deep fried gizzards. Like, it has a slightly different texture from fried chicken. It's still fried chicken.
Bob, what's your favorite thing you eat that proves you're not a giant pussy?
I'm worried because I think Edgar might be right.
No,
I can't prove anything.
Don't acknowledge it. That'll undo our entire belief system.
You gotta eat the 500,000 Scoville hot sauce. Eat this fucking chemical irritant. It'll prove you're a man. There's no other way to have confidence in your masculinity other than to scald your own face.
You need to order the super chip.
Yeah. Look, the only way I can prove the validity of my own existence is through pain and suffering to no end. You know, I wasn't ever going to bring it up on the podcast because it's not, like, relevant, but I do find it kind of funny. I showed Bob, for some reason, these 2 YouTube shorts, and I swear to God, they were from 2 different people. I was trying to look up how to cook salmon well on a griddle, just looking for tips. Mm-hmm. And both of them ended their fucking video with, "That's a pound of salmon on a paper plate. That's a great night." I'm like, what the fuck is...
I mean, that does sound like a great night.
No, I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying it's weird that 2 different guys ended their videos with paper plates and a pound of salmon and said the same shit. I'm like, is there something I don't know?
There must be some back end food YouTuber thing happening we don't know about.
And that's an excellent segue to remember when I was talking about every food YouTuber's becoming, I'm cramming everything with word on it or sold from place or type of food in my mouth and then saying a couple words and pretending this is a cohesive video. Mm-hmm. Yeah, people started blowing up. Was it Babish? It was either Babish. No, it was Joshua Wiseman.
Oh, yeah.
The video essay that was blowing up dropped that night. Right after I mentioned it, I'm like, okay, other people know. Okay, yeah. Yep. That's what happens when your most successful content by millions of views is I went and ate way too many burgers and rambled into a microphone, and then you got to see us order in the drive-thru. It was kind of funny, and I got friends to do it. And then I was so lazy, I got a guy who was not even a part of the film crew to just film separately in California at a couple places that are nowhere near here. And somehow this is still valid.
Now we had this we got really far off in the weeds, but it'll all be worth it when either Dan or Bob go to the store, see man dip, and have no choice but to buy it.
Seaman dip. Dip man dip.
I'm going to just believe man dip is only available online. You have to order it straight from them.
No, at Walmart. I've seen it at Walmart before.
Oh, no.
Here's my thing, Chris, okay? I am pretty confident I have never, ever in my entire life bought a thing that has pitched itself as manly. Never
Yeah, but you
once.
didn't have a lurid curiosity before.
I still don't.
Really? I can see you just pulling it out on a stream like, okay, Bob, time to see if this is worth all this stupid patriarchal bullshit.
People who are obsessed with this stupid toxic masculinity bullshit are the least creative minds on planet Earth. I don't want to know what they think a great flavor that whips ass is.
Yeah, this is just salt and vinegar. And then the guy who makes it is like nodding and giving you a thumbs up.
You're not even dill? You're not even going to dill it up? No, too spicy. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I've ever bought anything that remotely aligned itself with that, and I cannot think of one thing. And I've bought a lot of stupid shit in my time for GigaBoots Eats because I was trapped at a CVS working overnights and couldn't get real food.
I nothing like that explicit. I bought things that I think were adjacent. Like I would say the Kodiak protein pancake mix is adjacent because it's like, here's a bear on the cover. It's to make protein pancakes.
See, that's the thing. That doesn't quite... I wouldn't say epic bacon culture is the same thing as toxic masculinity, but I get that it's a...
Like it's a sloping scale. Like it's
that
going
bear
there.
is the medium point between these two things. Chat's even pointing out dude wipes. Yeah, I would simply buy the same product, but not with dude wipes on the fucking label.
It turns out you can get a pretty good pack of Lysol wipes.
Well, these are
cheaper.
they're not Lysol. You don't Lysol your asshole.
Okay, it's that one.
I mean, you do if you're not a pussy.
Yes.
Are you bad enough, dude, to take a whole can of Lysol? Yeah, dude, I just got a bidet. A bidet? What are you, a bidet? I Lysol my ass. You go over to your dude friend's house. They got a fucking can in the bowl. And it's faced up. What do you do? What do you do? You better hope they live in the woods. And you're like, I'm just going to go shit in the woods. Because I'm fucking terrified of a can of Lysol.
I think my favorite one I've ever seen, and it was in one of those shitty gift stores that only exist to sell things you can't find anywhere else that cost 3 times as much as they realistically should. Man bombs. They're bath bombs shaped like hand grenades.
Have you seen this? Have you seen this?
It's so bad.
This is real.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's so
you don't need to try and convince me. That's absolutely a thing.
Every time I see shit like this, I audibly groan out loud. This shit is always the most exhaustingly stupid thing. There's probably a manly celery out there.
I've seen more than one place, like donut place, have like a giant donut called the Bronut.
Okay, I've heard of a cronut, which is a cross between a croissant and a donut.
Right.
What the?
Well, it's big, I guess.
It's a donut with Twilight Sparkle colored frosting.
Wait a second.
Because it's for bronies.
Yes.
Make sure when you order it to order the bro nut, not the brony nut. That's a totally different thing.
No.
Fellas, is it gay to eat your bro's nuts? Can you tell we're just relishing the now?
You're right.
Because later we don't get to relish anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't. That's fucking. I'm still caught up in just have a big donuts called bro nut. That's so stupid. That's not even trying.
No, not really.
Somehow the most creatively bankrupt shit often is like, bro, this is the dude version. Oh yeah, this is your new phone? Yeah, it's a bro phone. I'm like, what's the deal with your bro phone? They're like, it has no colors. My screen's desaturated. So otherwise, might be gay. Don't want to give ladies the wrong impression. I'm like, somebody scammed your ass into buying a phone using an e-ink screen. The fuck are you doing with your life?
Your thought was just for some reason going to be a Google Pixel.
Give it time.
Yeah,
Google will do it.
Right.
They'll shift. They'll shift.
Oh, I just remembered another one of my favorite ones that I saw when I turned 21 and drinking was novel for like 6 months before I realized drinking kind of sucks. Man canned white wine.
Wow.
Like, first off, if there's going to be a manly liquor, it has to be the cocktail that David Duchovny's character in X-Files made in the hotel of rubbing alcohol to your vodka and orange juice on concentrate. He's spooning in and shaking. That's the exact tier.
Oh
it needs to
man,
at.
I have known so many people alcoholics who drank shit like that.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
The one I always saw was this guy who was a fucking waste of space. Like he was that guy who literally fucks up everything he gets involved with.
Oh, cool.
He's Curly, he's Curly from mouthwashing, or Curly was the pilot, I think, but he's the scumbag for mouthwashing, pretty much. Water bottle, fill it with vodka, then a Crystal Light packet,
Oh yeah,
and then shake.
Yeah, no, that's vile. That's
He snuck these into every movie we ever went to see. When I went to see movies with friends way back in the day. I mean, I still do that, but when it was like 4 or 5 people. He's like, yeah, can I just get a cup of ice from the stand? And then he would just pour his fucking illicit concoction in it.
I can't imagine. Like you go to a movie concession. Can I get a cup of ice? I'm kind of thirsty, but I would like to not pay for anything and also be very loud.
They always gave it to him.
I'm seeing someone in chat say, "Girl I knew did that a month ago."
This is the guy when we went to see, like, I think he drank 2 of them when we went to see Jackass 2 in theaters. And when he came out of it, he headbutted one of the doors so hard it broke the glass in it. And then I think he yelled "woo" and then ran out of the theater, knocking over one of the janitor garbage cans as he did.
Cool.
That's
Bob,
just how Jackass 2 made people act back then.
You were gonna say.
I was gonna say there is a manly product I believe you have bought, which is one of the coffees.
Bob's
like a
debunking me
prepackaged
right now.
packaged
Wait.
coffee that had a assault rifle on it.
Well, okay, so is pro-military bullshit also toxic masculinity? I think I would have to read the words on that can to know.
Right, I think we would have to read it because I was like, it definitely is adjacent, but I guess it needs something that brings it a little over.
Yeah. It might have, yeah, I bought Black Rifle coffee like years and years and years ago.
We didn't have any idea.
We didn't fucking know.
What they were.
They were fucking really new. And yeah, it was not good.
No.
Like, Jesus Christ.
And I'm thinking there has to be some energy drink that's also leaned hard into that. And I was like, maybe Dan's picked up one of those.
No, I'm going to be honest with you. Most of the history of energy drinks is them going in the exact opposite direction of that, because Monster basically planted the flag, and then they were like, wait, we need women to drink these. So they started doing like the monsters that are
the
literally
girl monster.
Yeah, they did Girl Monster, literally what they did. That's literally the entire goal with that whole brand of ones that Aggro enjoys very much. Well, actually, I don't know that. Aggro, do you like the Ultra Zeros?
Oh yeah, it's mostly what I drink.
Bob, I think you tried an Ultra Zero and you thought it was okay.
Yeah, I think so, because that's a boomer juice, right?
Yeah, no,
Yes.
I like
the
too
boomer
much
juice.
80s and 90s anime to not drink Monster Zeros.
See, I like Monster Rehabs, and frankly, the best monster ever was Uber Monster. That was like a $4 or $3.50 bottle. And it was fucking delectable. It was one of the best drinks I've ever fucking had. And so it had to die. God, I miss it. It and the Snickers Cruncher. Every day of my goddamn life. But yeah, what I was going to say is Monster basically planted the flag there, and then everyone ran away from that. Because countless brands are literally that exact thing. Either making it more neutral and less edgy, or distinctly feminine. Because Red Bull wouldn't be macho. Nothing's macho about Red Bull. That's the original. And then right after that, you get Monster, where it's like, oh, I'm so edgy and extreme, and this might be misconstrued as masculine, but ladies can like this too. And then everything after that was like, it's bubblegum colored. It probably tastes like bubblegum. I don't fucking know. And then there was that whole brand that lied and was like, we've actually done studies that shows our shit's great for you. And then you look it up and it's like, oh, they're all fake. Oh, and Monster's suing you. And also all of this shit. So they're no longer in business.
Was it Rain that got sued by Monster?
Yes, I think Rain was it. Yeah, I think that was the one. There's also Bang.
Oh yeah, because their shit also. I think it was Rain got sued by Bang, or the other way around.
Yeah, I think. God, Christ in heaven, how did that fucking work? Whatever. Anyways, point is, branding wise, they kind of went in the opposite direction. Chad's pointing out Liquid Death is a thing. I think again that gets more just into edginess and less masculinity.
Right, that could be more like just,
Yeah,
death
I
metal
also
sort of emphasize.
I also think it's like deliberately ludicrous because it's just water.
Yeah, it's just water. And somehow it worked.
Yeah, of course.
Someone had to make water hardcore.
It's so fucked up that Voss, the water, completely gave up the entire point of their brand by instituting plastic bottles. Because the whole point was it came in really fucking expensive seeming glass bottles, and it was expensive for water. And now they just made a plastic version. I'm like, why the fuck would I buy you?
Yeah.
You're not even bougie anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. It's almost like all these brands have a point originally, and then they all get ground into the same exact shape by, quote, the market. No, can't talk about
if
Xbox.
I love if I love lobster rolls, that doesn't mean I want to buy a lobster roll from McDonald's.
But what if the lobster roll you love slowly became a McDonald's hamburger?
Or maybe
I would probably stop buying it.
Oh, McRib. One
Now,
moment.
Bob,
This is
like
the worst.
shellfish has a satisfying springy texture. The McRib has the texture of a sponge.
They'll find a way.
It's
How did
springy
they
and
make a
it's kind of
boneless lobster sandwich?
Oh my god. Oh my god. That is the worst thing that has ever been posited on a fucking podcast is, hey, what if seafood McRib?
They would do it. They're sick. They'd make some sort of ground pulp from some random...
They'd be like, we found a way to make a patty out of krill.
Right? Like that. It'd be a krill patty.
They don't need to do that. They don't need... first of all, I'm sure in Asian territories, like one of those McDonald's have something that's like a McShrimp.
But I'm sure it's like good and all there.
Yeah.
Because like their fucking
have
food
laws.
system is radically different and they have laws.
Well, Bob, McDonald's is never going to make another fish sandwich because Catholicism is no longer hugely relevant in America.
That is true. Did you know about?
I forgot that was. Yeah, I'd heard that, and I totally forgot that was a thing and a reason.
Yeah, and that what was it? Utah location made that or something? It was some
I
Midwest
think it was.
state.
I think it was all of them. Like I think Ray Koch, is that the McDonald's guy?
It's Ray something.
Croc?
I think it might be Croc. Anyways, yeah, no, it was a manager at a specific store complaining because they were like, bro, we can't sell your fucking meat. We need a sandwich for these motherfuckers because of
it was
these other things.
Because back in the day, that is not the case anymore. But back in the day, Catholics went meat free for all of Lent instead of just the Fridays.
So because of that,
So they
that
had
one
to come-
store manager
so-
finally pushed it through, and then they did the chains nearby, and then it went national. It's just like, wow.
I think the first attempt was the Aloha burger that was a burger with a slab of pineapple as the burger.
Oh,
Yeah, what a fucking...
It is interesting that they switched to fish and didn't find like a way to scale up puffin farming, because I mean it would have done the same thing, and it's more analogous to chicken.
They
Like
should have
the
done gator.
bird?
Yeah. Oh, according to Catholic dogma, puffins are fish.
what?
They don't count for Lent.
Okay. I had to look this up because Aggro, you are the champion of saying the most completely made up bullshit in the world, completely
Right?
straight face.
It's true.
Yeah.
I always remember the helium doesn't work on ducks. They have rigid trachea shit from the Kingdom Hearts 3 stream. But apparently this is indeed true. I fact checked Aggro. Inexplicably, that was a ruling the Catholic Church had to make.
You can hear about this and many other religious loopholes on Dr. Agra's new GigaBoots Podcast Network podcast. Fuck God.
Yeah, every somebody in chat said every religion involves around trying to trick God, and like, yes, I knew heavily Orthodox Jews, and like they're not.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do shit on Saturday, because that's their day of rest. So like it's literally religious, like you're not allowed to do anything. And I think part of that was like you're not allowed to flick a light switch.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like we have a clapper.
God damn it. Hey, Chris, and I love that the audio listeners get the best version of this experience. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about Khazan the First Berserker? Because that's
no. I think we
Okay,
covered.
that's-
I think we covered the man dip in it. The energy drinks in it. The weird Catholicism angle that just came in the last second and really took over the game's narrative. I think I got it all out.
I recently saw that was like $40 used on GameFly. Do you think that's a good price? Or should I go lower?
Yes. I could not. Unfortunately, I would never be able to buy that because GameFly has banned me for life.
Yep.
That's okay. GameFAQs banned me for life. Actually, wait, I'm not even in the same state anymore. I'm probably fine.
Right.
And the fucked up part, it wasn't even because of something I did. It was because of something my mom did. Because she got me GameFly when I was a teenager, because that shit started on the PS2.
Uh-huh.
And then she changed her credit, like she had to get a new credit card and did not tell me to update the payment information on GameFly. So they were like, "You stole 3 games. You're banned forever. You can never ever join. I can't even buy used games from GameFly on their used game sales.
That's messed up.
I have tried, and they go, "You're on our blacklist. Go away."
So what he's saying is maybe that is a good price, but he wouldn't know. He's not allowed.
That's what I paid for it from a friend who bought it. And it's
okay.
like, "You want this?" And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, $40 seems fair."
Did you play anything else?
Nope, that is literally all I played.
But you got a stream coming up.
Yes, on Saturday I am doing a tier maker stream. You can go to chriswolfhe.art at Blue Sky, and I have posted about it, and I will retweet that post right now. I am pulling them tomorrow evening. I'm pulling them all in advance because that just makes shit a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. Just like me and Podlords. Oh wait, I can't say that word yet because we gotta replug. Tomorrow we're doing the vote for the theme months. You gotta show up. We're doing an opening show with ActRaiser and then moving on to Golden Axe Beast Rider while you vote on the theme month that you hit on the Donathon goal. Remember when Timer Chan was alive?
Remember theme months? We haven't done them forever.
Sincerely.
They're crazy. We stream a lot, and there's a month of it. I don't know if you've ever put this together.
There's a Mass Effect month in there, a Bat month in there.
Bat month is very funny.
Bat month's
It's
fucking
very
hilarious.
dangerous.
This is funny.
There might be some kind of X month. We don't know.
Unclear. But you're going to have to show up for the voting to decide because nothing is more patriotic than voting poorly.
Mm-hmm.
So show up on the 4th of July to vote for the next month. Hey, Aggro.
Yes, sir.
You, do you believe in the Lord?
I mean, yeah. I see him driving around my neighborhood with that trailer with all the lawnmowers in it.
Trying to get him to transition us to... Do you believe in a plural set of lords that are specific to this fucking show we do?
Did we convert? I was kind of zoned out there for a minute. We were talking about Catholicism. Did we hard switch into like Asatru or?
We're trying to go.
Sorry, Dan. There's only one kind of Lord I worship.
What's that, Chris Wolfhard?
The Pod Lords.
Oh my god!
Oh fuck! The Pod Lords.
Holy fucking shit! Why are the Pod Lords so good?
Things are weird.
This fucking episode, I swear.
Yes, that's right. The Podlords. Podlords such as BN12, Red Blaze 27. He's got a gun!
Oh, fuck.
Rado, Wonderful, Remastered, and WTF Spider-Man. Who could I be talking about?
Unclick down.
Yeah, actually, I think there's way too many options in America right now.
Muckbun, Shining You, Chris C, Summer Game Drusa Frost, Cooper Take. Took a wrong turn, Xbox. Your studios just got slammed! Indigo Sykes, 40 plus DuckTales appreciator, Gaijin. Billionaire blood is like glitter because all Pride Parades should be showered in it. Do your part.
Preach.
I don't think there's that much to go around. Like, just think about this from a logistical angle.
A raccoon doing some deliveries in Australia.
Oh, there's a little raccoon in the tank too.
He's kind of like A-posing. He's kind of squared
Yeah,
up.
that's I don't think that's how the limbs should go.
No, probably not.
Is this raccoon okay?
A raccoon who wishes they had bones. Sarah Lean. Timothy Pfister. You see, this was a vital step in our plan. You spend 69 billion real dollars, then you fire everyone over a few years and,
Well, hey, Bob, at least we didn't get what we were worried about happening 2 weeks ago. Someone getting bored and editing Adolf Hitler into being Jim Carrey, right? Because we played Bionic Commando Rearmed. We're like, chat, no!
Bearded Joe. Cleo Chrome. The crossover you never saw coming. Tackling you in 1 week.
Oh my.
Found my old pogs in my parents' attic. I don't recognize one of these designs, though.
Come on.
Yeah!
Come on.
Aggro, are you a Pod Lord? You have to tell me, legally.
I don't actually. I read the Patreon.
God damn it!
I could shit on Phil again, but I want to instead focus on how unprepared I was for the gremlin that is Gold Ship.
I swear to God, people talking about those horse girls sounds like that bit in Dr. Tran where he's making up gum flavors.
Man, the horse girls are so funny. The Japanese kanji for horse has like 4 little legs at the bottom. But horses don't exist in this universe, so it only has 2.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it took me a long while to figure out Gold Chip was her name. That's very strange.
Yeah, they're all named after actual racing horses. In fact, the lore is when a famous horse in our world dies, they're reborn as a horse girl in this setting. And normal horses do not exist at all.
Vervar. Getting ready to watch the Capcom showcase.
Dude, been doing it for a little extra time there.
Oda Nobunaga is nude in your living room.
Can we show this on Twitch? It's a little
Too hot for Twitch. Different Dimension Vice Typhon. That's pretty sick. We have a Bound Art 2, and Art Jinkario is voiced by Yuri Lowenthal. Just kidding, 9 souls forever, a million years, a million bits. It's gonna be great, Bob. Agro should play La Mulana if he wants good puzzles. Digital Basic. British Gentleman. And Vada Huff. Thank you very much to our Podlords. Thank you, Podlords.
Thank you,
Thank you, Podlords. And if you'd like to become a Podlord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/GB podcasts. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to many benefits such as early access to Chugging Bleach and other shows that will launch soon. I'm gonna keep saying this until they do, because it's always planned to be soon.
It's true. Any day now.
You also get extended armchair devs and a Gamer Premonitions content when we do those shows, and therefore it exists to be given to you. You get a patron-funded show one a month, either Cursed Content Club, where we watch a horrible thing and it is public, and patrons get the commentary track for that horrible thing. Go watch Birdemic. Other people have to see that.
Yeah.
And other months, a private show called Blessed Blontent Blub, where you vote on a movie. We each bring a film, you vote on which one we watch, and then we watch it and discuss it. You also get an entire movie called Isolation 119. It's more of a movie than Birdemic. I would also argue it is more of a movie than at least 3 Neil Breen films.
Yeah.
And many other benefits. Patreon.com/GB podcast. And if you don't have any money, it always helps a lot to promote us, spread the word, rate us on Thursdays, rate us with a T on your podcasting app of choice, and leave a comment, subscribe if you listen to any of our stuff on YouTube. That way, patreon.com/GB podcast.
We have the worst week of news.
Let's flip the script. Let's flip the script and do everything that isn't the apocalypse beforehand.
Sounds great.
Yeah. We don't
Sounds
want to have to go
awesome.
back after.
Because it will be 2 hours.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be good. Aniplex just announced Joy City developed, Capcom published, or co-developed, whatever. Resident Evil Survival Unit for iOS and Android with a premiere to talk about it more next week on this exact day, the 10th.
Great.
Please be excited. It is going to be launching on iOS and Android, and it will be very good. It is launching in multiple different regions. You don't know it's a gotcha. You don't know it's a gotcha.
And then it comes out and it gotcha.
Bob, are you excited?
No, that's going to be bad.
You don't know that. You don't know
it
that.
doesn't even
Hello,
matter if it's a gotcha or not. It's just gonna be bad.
It's
It's
me.
gonna be a bad game.
It's me, the coolest podcast commenter. You don't know that. You can't form patterns. That's different news. That's different news.
Is there a single, I guess Pokemon Go people like, but I'm like, is there anything that just more has the stench of death on it than here's our mobile spinoff of a normal game franchise?
I think people like that Monster Hunter and Pokemon, and that may do people.
I
Like
don't think they like the monster.
Yeah.
I think if people complained that it was insanely monetized because the same people, like that same Saudi Arabian company that now owns Pokemon Go.
Yeah, of course they also
Has
own
it.
that. Cool, great, awesome, fantastic. Oh yeah, that Destiny spinoff. Maybe that'll do great. We don't know. That's coming out in August. You excited?
No.
Damn.
There's a Destiny.
Is there? Yeah,
Man, is there a more
that's-
Doom thing than a Destiny spin-off for phones other than Marathon?
I think it's less doomed than Marathon. So yeah, that
Right,
would be correct.
exactly.
Marathon wins. Marathon wins.
Yeah, Marathon, like this mobile game isn't standing directly next to Concord that's like pulling it down psychically.
I'm trying to see if any of what I posted in here or read about or care about is nope. Nope, that's it. I don't get to talk about that yet. We have to move on. Hey, Dr. Aggro.
Yezo.
Let's talk about it.
Are you ready to get that money back feeling?
Yeah, always.
So back in 2022, the FTC hit Fortnite for being manipulative dipshits and scamming people out of money. With a you need to pay us a shit ton of money that we'll give back to people settlement. They are announcing they're doing another round of signups for that because apparently after 2 rounds of payouts, there's still like 47 million left in the pot. So if you are the parent of a child who made an unauthorized purchase with a credit card between January of 2017 and November of 2018, or were charged V-Bucks for unwanted game items between January 17 and September 2022, or you lost your account because you disputed unwanted charges on your credit card between January 2017 and September of 2022, you have till July 9th at ftc.gov/Fortnite, which is just not a web address that should exist. This is a cursed timeline.
Yeah, it is.
To apply to get some of that fuck you money.
Cool. Great news. Thank you for the news, Aggro. This is shaping out to be a pretty good week so far. Excited for that Resident Evil. Excited for that Destiny. Excited for that money back feeling.
Man, I want, like, the moment Epic is out of ways to fuck Apple, I want them to die.
Yes.
Like, I want them to grab Apple and thumbs up their way into the molten steel bath.
Well, don't worry. That seems like it is kind of the trajectory they're on as the entire AAA
Yup.
gaming industry collapses.
Sepia in chat says, I got $37. Hell yeah. Good
Nice.
for you. Good for
Nice.
you. Happy
Get
for you.
that, well, not bag, packet. Get that packet.
I always endorse signing on to any class action thing you're even remotely allowed to.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
you only get $13. $13 I didn't have before.
Right? Get that not bag, well, Ziploc bag sealed on the backside of a toilet stall in the Italian restaurant where you're going to murder one of the other mob bosses and then flee to Italy. Get that.
Pick me up one while you're out.
Italian mob boss or restaurant? Which one what?
Just get me a set and I'll figure it out.
I can build it myself. He could not. I have all these
Reading
pieces.
instructions is for pussy.
There we go. Man furniture. We did it. We did it. Instructions to build furniture nowadays is too easy. It needs to be more complicated and heart-wrenchingly difficult.
This is
just a box of lumber.
beanbag This is a beanbag chair made to look like a boob and a half a pallet of bricks. What am I supposed to do with this?
I thought you were a man and you'd know. Go fuck yourself. What a fucking episode.
Did they give you some unmixed cement at least?
Yes, but I ate it.
Oh no!
I thought it was pancake mix.
It had a bear on the cover. I was confused.
It tasted gluten free. So, Sneaky Box, the people who made that Space Marine Master Crafted Edition, they're just giving you full refunds on Steam till July 10th, regardless of your clocked playtime.
What is this?
This is the remake or the remaster of Space Marine 1.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was apparently a little rough.
Apparently it was rough. Allegedly it like has barely, like on PC, like it doesn't look different. Like it hardly looks different from the original at all.
Wild.
Yeah, and it was like $40. So they're like, you could just have that back.
This is for you. Well, thank you, Agra, for the news. Let's head over to Bob.
All right. We had a new game announced. It's called Full Metal Schoolgirl.
Okay.
Coming out for PS5, Switch 2, and PC.
Mm-hmm.
It's out actually October 23rd, so we're close. This is actually done
Isn't
by
that Ava game from forever ago?
Yes.
No, that's Full Metal Girlfriend. It's different. This is done by the same producer as the Onechanbara games and EDF, Nobuyuki Okajima, who's working with D3 Publishing and Yuke's. That wrestling game company. The guy's making the new, not Final Fight,
Fire Pro?
the other beat 'em up, Dragon, Double Dragon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're making that new Double Dragon.
Yeah, Yuke's makes a lot of shit. They made several of the Earth Defense Force things, I think.
Right.
As someone in chat says,
I think all they
Ukes-
made was the bad spinoffs.
Ukes of Rumble Rose's fame.
Exactly.
Hey, Konami, where's that?
I don't fucking know.
But this game looked pretty neat. You play as these schoolgirls who've been turned to cyborgs, and they have to fight robots. Looks like
Yeah, this looks more high rent than Onechanbara.
A little. Those got pretty high rent near the end.
That's true. But that's
The last
cool.
one I played was like an early PS4 one. It's like, this is so basic.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were going to say base.
Like you have 4 playable characters who I think have 2 weapons each, but like it's in giant boxes with lobotomized zombies that you kill.
Yeah, no, it looks like the enemies might attack you in this.
Whoa.
So that's neat.
Okay, Bob, when we came to your news, I scrolled up to your news, and this is why I cracked up. You missed an N in the title of this game, and that actually killed me because I imagined the game being called Donkey Kong Bonanza. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? They invented a fucking word again.
Yes. I knew I was about to wrong and just kept looking. I was like, what's it missing? I don't know. Moving on.
Someone at Nintendo America was like, what if there was another N then it would be a pun? And they're like, oh shit, wait, how's banana spelled? They were like really fucking confused. They're like, God damn it. Fuck you, Nintendo America. Why didn't you tell us? And they're like, this is the first we're hearing of it. It's too late. We already printed the cardboard standees and shit. We're so fucked. Anyways, what's the deal?
Donkey Kong Bonanza, they confirmed that the dev team is the same dev team that worked on Mario Odyssey, which
I think
pretty
everyone
obvious,
guessed, yeah.
but they actually said it to an interview was, I think, Eurogamer.
So there you go. Don't be expecting a new 3D Mario on top of this.
No.
At the very
Unfortunately.
least, not one anything like that, because those people are working on this.
There's going to be some...
Shut the fuck up.
I can't even... It's so hard to even say.
Here, I can do a voice.
Okay.
Aggro, are you okay with me doing a voice?
Just gonna take my headphones off. Give me a wave when you're done.
Okay. I'm done. Come back. It's okay. Come back.
What?
No, it's fine. It's fine. I already did it. I promise.
Oh, okay. I trust you, Dan.
My voice, my clever voice, will in fact be my normal speaking voice. So there's going to be Halo news announced. They say, Hello World Championship. I'm going to be doing the thing that one product reviewer freaking reviews. They say that there will be Halo news announced at the Halo World Championship, and they say that is between October 24th and 26th.
Yeah, they're going to announce they're shutting down 343.
They renamed it. They'll shut down
it's
the new one.
Halo Studios now. Thank you.
Oh, right. I forgot because they haven't made anything since they announced that name change.
That
Nor
sure
have they
is-
announced anything.
That sure is hyper relevant to our news, so I refuse to say any more words.
Let's move on. Neil Druckmann is stepping away from the Last of Us HBO series and focusing on Naughty Dog.
As funny as it is to imagine that Pedro Pascal just ripped his spine out with that, do you even like art? Comment. It's significantly more likely that that the reckoning is happening at Sony and that Neil Druckmann will be executed if Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet does not sell 15 million copies.
It's also
Yup.
between that and like that second season did not perform well at all.
No.
Yeah, but
think
it seems like a lot of it was actually Craig Mazin because it is radic. Like this whole season, like downplays Ellie is a psycho murderer. Like that's the whole thing.
the
that people are
part where
complaining
people
about.
didn't like is the same thing that happened in the game, which Druckmann saw to happen in the show, and everyone hated it again.
All I saw was people complaining that they really downplayed Ellie being a psycho
I know
murderer.
an absolute shitload of people who were fucking blind on the game, did not know, and then hit that in season 2 and went, fuck this, and just got more and more upset from that point forward.
Right.
Yeah, sounds like maybe you sounds like that a lot of your appeal was Pedro Pascal.
It sounds like no one liked The Last of Us Part 2 doing that. Not because they're insane, thin-skinned gamers with a limited idea of what a thing should or could be, but because, check this out. Come here. They liked your character, and then you killed them to be clever.
Yeah,
And
that
they
is.
did not
in
think
fact,
that was clever or enjoy it.
Yeah.
A thing that I like. This is anecdotal, of course, but like everybody who wasn't keyed into games that much really didn't like The Last of Us 2 because the whole point was they liked the Ellie and Joel dynamic in The Last of Us 1. And
Right.
they're not only do they kill Joel, there just isn't anything like that in The Last of Us 2.
No.
Yeah, no, I played the game.
Yeah. No.
Like, when I heard they were just doing the game, I'm like, this is going to go great. And the weirdest part is when I saw so many people who know what was in the game, who liked The Last of Us, who were confident it would go great. They were like, oh, they're very directly adapting part 2. This is going to go awesome. I'm like, everybody's going to be fucking pissed again, and y'all are going to say toxic gamers. And then they did. I was
This
like,
is
motherfucker,
one of
it's
those-
on HBO. It's not video game. Shut the fuck up.
This is one of those things where they made the decision to alienate everyone because even people who liked The Last of Us 2 don't like them completely defanging Ellie and making her like regret every single murder she does and also try not to murder people.
Cool.
Fucking
What a
So anyways, Druckmann's not on the show.
right.
I feel like there are two very obvious reasons that would no longer be, and Chris and I list.
I just saw the tweet and just read the first part. Was he stepping back? I was like, please just be stepping back from gaming.
Step away from everything. Step away from the car.
Yeah, no.
Now-
I was really hoping he
now
was
does-
just getting invested in the television world and doing his own thing over there, but no.
Now, does this make The Last of Us 3 more or less likely to happen? Like, because it could make it less by he's demoralized and won't want to do it, but it could make it more because he's an insane narcissist and now has to prove that The Last of Us 1 was not entirely the other guy.
I bet The Last of Us 3 will definitely enter development, and it will end up in some form of development hell that he will rue.
I mean, it's a Naughty Dog game. That's what happens to every single one of them now.
Well, I mean, by every single one of them, you mean The Last of Us Part 2?
Since The
'cause
Last of Us
Uncharted
2.
4 went fine. The DLC went fine.
And factions.
Yeah, because that was supposed to be a part of The Last of Us Part 2, and then it got spun off into its own thing, and then what a cursed fucking thing.
Yeah, no. What a
By the way, I don't generally on the show we kind of stick to news that we think you'll care about or news that is definitively news. But there were some leaks, I believe, on LinkedIn for that game, the Heretic Prophecy Last something.
Yeah.
Whatever the fucking name is. The important thing is that we just don't call it Heretic, Chris.
I'm gonna be real. I when I posted that, I had forgotten the actual name of the game.
Yeah, of course.
I just knew Heretic was in it.
Heretic Prophecy,
It is Intergalactic: the Heretic Prophet.
There we go. And we can't just call it Intergalactic because you're going to do that, and Dr. Agger's going to be like planetary.
Planetary.
Yeah, see? This is the problem. You assholes. Why'd you name it that? And that's the title. If there's a sequel, this doesn't go away.
You should have named it like Lensacripril or something.
Can we not name things like drugs? Ask if Naughty Dog's latest game is right for you. Anyways, via LinkedIn, it leaked.
No, what is this?
Only now have I thought about how this exact group of people is going to take this news. So maybe, just maybe, Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, will feature RPG mechanics and loot.
Well, yeah, it's going to be God of War.
It's going to be their most complex game gameplay-wise, they promised, and that means it's going to have stats and gear systems.
Why? It doesn't.
It's gonna be the Sony version of Dark Souls. It's gonna be the Sony version of Dark Souls.
It is.
What if you made a game? What if you just made the game and it was like Uncharted again? Just do that.
No.
You can't go any bigger.
What if they made
Bob,
Bloodborne?
Well, Bob, that makes sense. That makes sense now, but this game started in development in 2018. That I assume it started development after The Last of Us 2 shipped. But the point is, we're now in this place where it is completely impossible for any game to respond to industry events because they all take 7 years to develop now, and at no point will they change mid-development.
Well, I mean, why would they change now? They don't, like, there's been no feedback that tells them to fucking cut this out yet.
Yeah, they haven't managed to release anything over a Sony because everything they release is instead some weird service game
as a service, yeah, which is fucking, again, the timeless thing of like, Sony is so fucking stupid. If it rained, they would look up and drown. The only reason they succeed is because Microsoft keeps fucking themselves up nonstop. Anyway.
Yeah, I have this news article right next.
Well, real quick, what I was going to say is we haven't had a commercial game come out and just prove that people fucking hate these soft RPG mechanics in games. So far as all the numbers point, people fucking love that shit.
Yeah, even though it expands the development time insanely.
Yep.
I think a lot of games with Destiny loot are starting to bomb now. Like Immortals of Avium bombed. But I know not because of that. Assassin's Creed Shadows really doesn't seem to have done anywhere near what Ubisoft hoped. Like that game kind of just came and went in a way that Origins and Odyssey and Valhalla didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody curses anything that resembles Destiny at all now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just seems like a lot of that, the tides are starting to turn. And even if they haven't totally turned yet, in 2029, when Intergalactic is about to come out, who knows?
Yeah, I feel like we still haven't had the watershed moment where everyone hated that was a signal they got back. Because reviewers love this shit.
I mean,
for some reason, reviewers are just like, oh, it felt like progress. My brain feel good. And I'm like, I feel like your average gamer goes insane when they see a 0.5% chance on a successful parry to add a 5% damage amplification.
Yeah, I don't know how people can tolerate that.
I actually explained to a friend who didn't play The Last of Us Part 2, doesn't give a shit about The Last of Us, didn't watch the show. He didn't know they killed Joel.
Yeah.
So I told him that like 2 days ago, and I was like, yeah, it's a golf club. It's a golf club thing. Anyways, they did that in the show, and people fucking hated it. I still just am flabbergasted with the people like toxic gamers. It's like, no, it's called liking a character.
Right?
Do you not fucking understand? Okay, imagine Joel is Coke. So there was this thing called New Coke. Anyways, let's move on. Let's move on.
Sony, for some reason, they're porting Helldivers 2 to the Xbox.
Why?
Comes out August 26th.
It is coming out the same day as the Gears of War remasters on Sony. Well, it's also on Sony. So I assume it must have been some kind of bizarre deal for that. I don't know why it's going to sell literally 0 copies on Xbox, like everything.
Yeah, no, this makes me think, oh yeah, no, PlayStation is like Sony is even dumber than I thought. Because this is another level. Like, don't give them your games. You should know better than that. It won't sell.
It doesn't.
It devalues your brand for no reason.
It doesn't. I'm not sure if you have literally zero intel. But come here. I fucking shout into a microphone for a living, and I have enough intel to tell you you're not going to sell shit over there.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're devaluing. Come here. Listen. You're devaluing your fucking brand, and you're not even getting sales for it. You look like the biggest asshole.
Yeah,
like, this is
it's like, what's the fucking point, my man?
This is like you're just following, I guess, Microsoft's lead of devaluing everything for no good reason. Like,
But for them, they get sales.
Right.
It makes sense for them. They're the ones in the radioactive wasteland. Motherfucker, your ass just walked in and got ratted to death.
Yeah.
It will be really funny if it comes out that this was some kind of fucked up deal, because it's like Sony, they have no leverage. Just wait them out.
Right.
Like, they'll put their shit on your console because they want to live.
I see someone in chat. What's that? I'm too busy porting games to the Switch 1/2, Sony. You would get sales there.
Right.
You're not going to get sales on Xbox. That
Putting
simply
Helldivers
doesn't
2
happen.
on the Switch 2 makes infinitely more sense than putting it on Xbox.
100%.
Like a lot of these big publishers that are addicted to the biggest, hugest, most epic games can't seem to internalize, like, guys, Xbox ain't closing the gap for shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like that Final Fantasy VII Intergrade going to fucking Series X is gonna sell nothing.
Yeah, I doubt Final Fantasy 16 moved the needle at all. Because that already came out, in case people forgot. That was a shadow drop.
That was a shadow drop.
And even weirder, we had, I think it was Digital Foundry was talking about that version is just a port of the PC version completely unoptimized, so it has problems playing cutscenes and shit. That's the level of caring people are doing for Xbox. And somehow Sony's like, we got to bring Helldivers over. Motherfucker, what? Are you high? In what world? Motherfucker got stoned out of their fucking mind, stared at an Xbox and went, well, wouldn't it be crazy if Helldivers was in there?
They've even made a hype trailer of like, oh, we could call for backup from the Xbox community. It's like, what? 12 dudes who still buy games?
12 dudes who won't buy it because their entire personality is being shitty about Sony?
Yeah.
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 Anyways, let's move on.
Sure. This one's really funny.
Uh-huh.
The Benz! He's insisting that Build a Rocket Boy will bounce back and relaunch Mind's Eye. And he blames the current problems on saboteurs, both internal and external, from the development team.
This dude needs to be committed.
Yes.
Like, he's actually suffering from paranoid delusions.
Yeah, no, they're just saboteurs out to get Mind's Eye. They work for us.
Is it you?
So I went to check
The thing.
I went to check where Final Fantasy 16 sat on the most played Xbox games, because they have the list for that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It is several hundred down between Uno and Dead Cells.
Uno's on your
Slightly higher than that, slightly higher, one above Dead Cells, is the Xbox 360 version of Midnight Club Los Angeles. So, about people not fucking playing games on Xbox.
Chat, this is what we're talking about. I watch time and time again as people who are unfamiliar with us and don't have any confidence in us just assume we literally hate Xbox.
Right.
First off, that's a fucking insane behavior. They're all corporations. We don't love Sony. We don't love Nintendo. We don't love Xbox. We hate all corporations. But
Yes.
more importantly, what we're saying is specifically true about Xbox and comes from a place of paying attention to this industry for over 25 years.
Just watching the spiral.
Several hundred places higher than Final Fantasy 16. Mortal Kombat X.
Well, at least that's the latest one, right?
Yeah, definitely. I also took notes for the Bandai Namco Summer Showcase, if we want to check those out.
Didn't we have one more news story for you?
Did we? Oh.
Oh, no. Sorry, you brought up the beds and my brain just spiraled into, why haven't I uploaded that sound to the fan Discord? We need the beds! Hey, Bob.
For greater context, let me say that the most successful pay-for game that is not Game Pass on these most played games is Elden Ring Night Rain, which I think is like 40th place, which is a lot lower than it is on every other platform, where it sold like several 100 million copies instantly.
Yeah. Shocking. Bob, let's get into the Bandai Namco Summer Showcase. I'm so excited. What's this? I'm stepping...
Oh no, Dan's leaving. He's gonna miss... He's gonna miss out on this incredible showcase that was hosted by this lady, I believe, from IGN. She co-hosted the Game Awards a few times. She did like the pre-show and stuff. This showcase was bad. I'll just get that out of the way up front. It's very awkward. We have two hosts kind of talk about the game and then show it over to pre-recorded videos and then transition back poorly. But the first game up,
Yep.
My Hero Academia All's Justice. It's about the climax of the series, and they're making it alongside the anime. So this part isn't even animated yet. It's just already in the manga.
They can finally use the full title.
I don't know what that means. So you're just showing out spoilers. I don't understand.
No, because all the previous these games were just called My Hero. My Hero One's Justice, and so on and so forth. This is the first one to actually have My Hero Academia in the title.
What? I didn't even realize that was a thing with the...
Yeah, it was My Hero One's Justice, and then I think there was something that like My Hero something Rumble.
Huh. I wonder why they would have done that. What's different this time?
Yeah, My Hero One's Justice, My Hero One's Justice 2, and My Hero Ultra Rumble. In Japan, these all had Academia in the title. So it must have just been some bizarre Bamco thing or a completely bizarre licensing thing.
Yeah,
trademark situation.
That's so strange. Anyway, it's another arena fighter. I have no idea if it's going to play like the others. It has tag team mechanics. I haven't played the other ones basically at all. So
they're sludge arena fighters.
Yeah, so it's probably more of that. But they didn't really show.
They
enough
exist.
to know.
They exist. So your coworker can buy the game, see a canned animation of somebody doing the United States of Smash, and then like do the DiCaprio point because they saw that in the show.
Yeah.
Okay, Bob, I have a question. This may accidentally be spoilers.
Okay.
Did they show Froppy?
I don't think so.
I'd be stunned if she's not in there.
Okay. They did because they said that you can actually play as everyone from the main class in this game. And this is the first time that you get to play as all of them. So she was almost certainly in that lineup. Because she's part
I guess I gotta get it.
of the main class.
I gotta get it.
I guess.
I'm never gonna fucking watch the show.
And this is the end of the show, so you just have to play this.
Now I feel safer. Well, let me hit that button again. Now I feel safer watching the show because I was just to be clear, okay? Froppy's adorable, and I've been too terrified to watch that show because I'm like, oh no, it's a hack shonen series. They'll probably fucking kill the only character I like, so I didn't watch it.
Yeah, this is not a comic got kill.
Obviously not. Totally obviously not. But you never know when a dark twist is gonna be coming.
Yeah, as much as I watch, the dark twists are usually like then this person loses their power, or they do something bad in a flashback that's so long ago. Which is a very standard thing.
The author really likes having characters lose limbs. That's like his favorite thing.
See, and I couldn't deal with that emotion.
She's
too cute. She's too cute. She's adorable.
I think one of the I think like a major, not like one of the class characters, like one of the adult heroes. I think by the end of the series, all 4 of their limbs are cybernetic.
My God.
I'm going to take us out of the My Hero spoiler zone, but not before saying I see someone in chat. The Froppy episode is amazing. Singular episode?
You only get one.
What the fuck? Okay, now we're out of the My Hero spoilers part.
Then they showed Code Vein 2. They had basically nothing to say about it.
Okay. How veiny was it?
It's so veiny.
Okay.
Patapon 1+2 replay. They actually had a whole segment of someone playing it, and it's like, yeah,
we probably didn't need this much of this.
You don't think? You're like, yeah, nice rhythm, asshole. Get off the stage.
I think I don't think it's a new announcement. This is the first time I saw a decent chunk of Toa in the Guardian of the Sacred Tree, which is just Hades with Japanese mythology.
This was in one of the Saturday shows
It
at
was
the
in
Summer
one
of
of the
Gaming.
shows, yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe it wasn't even at Jeff's thing.
But yeah,
It was there.
They showed a decent bit of gameplay. There are going to be 8 playable characters, so that's one thing that makes it different from Hades. Otherwise, it's super similar. The two they showed off were a samurai girl and a carp man, where he's like literally like he looks like a carp and he's got human legs and he apparently cannot swim. And that's supposed to be very funny, they tell me.
That seems hilarious.
Then they did an ad for Death Note Killer Within.
What?
I'm saying it's an ad because they didn't seem to have anything new to say about it. It's just like this game's been out for months.
Yeah, that came out in December.
Right?
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
Remember?
We
Because we were like, oh, Game of the Year, we should care. And then we looked at it and we're like,
Then
they showed new classes, Bob. That's what someone...
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Good for you. Good for
Cool. Then they did a gigantic thing on Shadow Labyrinth.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's out July 18th.
Cool.
They talked about how Secret Level, the show for the episode for that was a prequel to this.
Oh.
So it sets things up. It has lots of references to classic games like Splatterhouse and Dig Dug.
It does, yeah. And Xevious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they also said this is part of the 45th anniversary of Pac-Man, which they are calling Impact.
45th anniversary year of Impact.
Uh-huh.
Impact.
Yeah, the year of Impact.
Hey, you know, you remember Pac-Man Fever? Come here. That was 40 fucking years ago. What do you fucking mean Impact?
We got Shadow Labyrinth.
Your fucking first peak was back then. Your second, much lower peak was on the GameCube. Sit your ass down.
Oh, I thought the second was for pixels.
Nah, that's not even. People aren't like, oh, I love Pac-Man because of that. But no, that Pac-Man Versus thing, where it's the 4 GBAs and the GameCube, and then also the 3D platformer that came out that gen.
Oh yeah,
that truly was
they
like the
did try
second.
and do they really didn't work.
I knew I
They
was
did
gonna
three-
look at
they
chat
did
and
three
see
of those.
Spiff being like Pac-Man 2, the new adventures on Super NES. I knew you would fucking. That's not a peak. That's a demon.
They did do 3 of those Pac-Man World games, although the third one is bad because they had an American developer make it.
Yeah, I'm just saying that was the second.
And none of these
That,
even registered
that
at the
Game Boy-
Pac Fever, to be honest.
That Game Boy SP thing was actually really cool. It had that multiplayer element where the Game Boys got to be where the
POVs, yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, but because they were the ghosts, but they could only see a tiny chunk of the board, while Pac-Man could see the whole thing.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
They should bring that back. It'd work a lot easier online.
But yeah, I'm
Probably
just saying.
even sell a little better than Shadow Labyrinth. Just a little.
I'm just saying, if you look at Pac-Man in the grand scheme of things, that's literally that tiny era during 6th gen was like the tiniest next bump, and it's like that is an order of magnitude.
Yeah, no, like I said, it doesn't even register. It's like no,
Like,
You say
largely
it doesn't even register, my man, but you know how many Pac-Man games immediately followed up Pac-Man that registered even less. They had so many you would not believe your fucking eyeballs would spin.
I absolutely believe it that no Pac-Man games ever had Impact again, basically after
Anyone bought the
first.
6th gen platformers. Those have actual sales. Fucking so many versions. The only thing after Pac-Man that did well in an arcade was fucking Miss Pac-Man. And that's illegitimate. In case you didn't know.
Oh yeah, everybody knows that.
Bamco, listen to me. Pac-Man ain't gonna be Mario or Sonic. You've been obsessed with this for years, to the point you even did your own fucking Sonic Boom, but Pac-Man.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Bob, does that count as
Give
a reboot?
it up.
It does.
One moment.
Absolutely.
Adding it to a list.
Oh no, you just put a rocket up that category's ass by consigning yourself to playing fucking Pac-Man that goes leaving. If that wins, we'll watch the cartoon. We'll watch 3
Hell
episodes
yes!
of the cartoon and talk about it.
I would love to give Sonic Boom a fighting chance at being the best Sonic Boom like.
God. There's also the enemies. The main enemies you fight in this game are the G host.
Shut shut the fuck up. God, what is fucking wrong with them?
Into the river, you fucking hacks.
They had to bring up your name is Puck. And then they had the co-host say,
No.
like the original name of Pac-Man.
This is that fucking Penny Arcade comic about the survival horror Kirby game.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to know the funniest thing I never brought up to any of you ever about this exact thing we point out? There is someone who's like, I don't understand why they hate it. Is it because it's like that Penny Arcade? That's a real arbitrary reason to hate it. It's like, no, the Penny Arcade exists because it's hackish
Because
bullshit.
it's a hackish, ridiculous concept.
Real, it's terrible.
Right. Like, it's a parody. This shouldn't be real. It's a parody that's incredibly bad for the sake of humor.
I don't understand this. You hate it because it's Penny Arcade, right? Yeah, that made me laugh so hard when I saw it. I was like, how do I explain humor? Parody, satire, whatever. I'm just gonna keep scrolling.
They also, it has parrying. So this may be parry slap.
Pack Parry Slap?
Pack parry slap.
Got the Parry Slap fever.
Then they have an entire boss fight shown on stage. Pre-recorded so no one dies or anything. But still is like 5 minutes straight of, it's a really bad looking Metroidvania where you have a dodge, so you just dodge to the enemy all the time. And it's just a big dude who does obvious swings, and you parry your dodge through him and hit him in the back. And he has a stun meter. And you got to break down the stun meter and does a little bit of damage.
What I am fucking floored by is this seems to be Bamco proper and not something they farmed out to a Western dev, because that's what I would. Everything about this screams that to me, but that doesn't seem to be the case, or they just haven't announced it yet.
I bet it's just hidden because it feels so much like that. Like it doesn't.
Yeah, like the weird angle is whatever, but our boss fight takes 6 minutes. It's a 2D game.
Yeah.
So, This is incredible. It's like they have their own bad E3 conference going on when you show a 5-minute fucking boss fight.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Then they show a little bit of Little Nightmares 3.
Cool.
Everybody's Golf to show Pac-Man again.
I mean, yeah, Pac-Man's in that.
Yeah,
you heard that has AI.
Yes,
textures in it?
we covered that last week. It's
know,
like I ain't buying it then, dude. What are you doing?
Yeah.
We had a section on Super Robot Wars Y.
Because people like it.
That's the name of the game, though.
What's the name of the game?
Super Robot Wars Y.
Because people like it. That's why they showed it, Bob. Now, what's the name of the game?
I would really like to get into Super Robot Wars, but they have the same problem as Project Crosszone, where it's like, guys, you're like 80 hours long.
Yeah, it's incredibly long, and as far as I know, it's a really bad tactics RPG. And it's like, if you were any other genre that was a little easier to play a bit, like if this was just a bad turn-based RPG, I'm way more into that than a bad tactics RPG, because each battle in bad tactics RPGs is like an hour.
As funny as the idea of Shinji is around an adult that isn't the most incompetent adult humanly possible and turns out fine. As funny as that is, and as funny as every single character calling the main character of Gundam Seed a petulant, spoiled child who will get everyone killed, I'm not powering through something that long.
You know, Bob.
Yeah.
When I was 7 years old and my mother told me I shouldn't spend that much time with video games, I turned towards her and I said, someday me playing a bunch of video games will be a really great occupation I will have on the thing they haven't invented yet called the internet, and I will get to recycle the who's on first joke for my audience, and they will appreciate and or hate it. And she's like, what's on first? And I'm like, no, who's on first? And then she said, Jet Jaguar, huh?
Yeah, that has Jet Jaguar from Godzilla.
Nice.
And Alan B from G Gundam. She's the one with the Sailor Moon Gundam. There are lots of other things, but these are two things that stuck out to me. Unfortunately, it's Jet Jaguar from the new anime. It's not the classic.
Oh, really?
But it's still pretty good. I'm so excited.
Well, that's cool. But
they also showed a bit of blood of the Dawnwalker, which is the newest thing from those guys who worked on The Witcher and then spent off and made their own company.
And not, in fact.
Yeah, I wonder how that's going to go.
And not, in fact, an expansion for Final Fantasy 14.
Right. They actually did earlier this week release a full 20 minutes of gameplay, which I watched some of that. That looks pretty neat. And in this, they're like, oh yeah, during the day you're a human, and at night you can be a vampire. or you have to be a vampire and you have to suck people's blood.
Whoa.
Okay, that's pretty neat.
And they seem to really be emphasizing, hey, there are RPG mechanics and your choices matter, and you get to choose when to do things. Like, you could go assault this castle, but you'll probably die if you try and do it early because it's really hard. It's like, okay.
Man, this I certainly expected this game to be a lot further out.
Right?
But this seems like it's probably coming out next year for realsy reals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they showed like actually it's a game. It's a video game you can play.
And they actually called it the right thing in this footage. They say pre-beta.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
And if you don't know, dear listener,
Words used to mean
Alpha-
things.
yeah, alpha is supposed to mean code complete. And
Alpha
beta
is
means
supposed to be the
content
first
complete.
playable state. And as such, it doesn't ever make any fucking sense to see a thing that says pre-alpha.
Uh-huh.
It's like, no, sir. That is
Every
not...
single
And then
Every
see alpha
single-
stuff that has textures.
Yeah, every single thing that you've ever seen, like in the past 5 years, called pre-alpha footage was mid-beta footage at earliest.
Like, this is our pre-alpha public test. Fallen a well.
Yeah, you might be able to piece this together when you realize alpha, the first letter.
Uh-huh.
Beta, the second letter. Did you notice that there's nothing before the first letter? Whatever.
They did a big Tekken 8 segment just on the new character
Tekken 8.
Tekken 8.
Tekken 8, sorry. Fakumaran, I actually have never fucking heard his name.
Yeah, I think that's how they said it in this presentation as well. And it's just one of the producers from Tekken going around Thailand being like, this guy's really cool. And it's like, dude, no one cares. No one cares.
Look, fuck up, man.
Levy explained his tattoo. It's really cool. It's like, no one cares where he got his tramp stamp. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He's so cool.
No, he was struck by lightning as a baby. That's why he looks like that. It's like, no one cares.
Bob, speaking of no one care.
Yeah, there's a DBZ Sorry, they didn't say Kakarot. They said Kakarot.
Kakarot. Kokoroto.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Kokoroto.
Daima DLC. It's coming in 2 parts. They showed a big ad for the first part, and it was actually like fully seems way more complete than you might expect. Like, oh yeah, you have a whole new open world to explore. You have the new team.
Huh.
So it's like the young version of Goku, and it's Supreme Kai young. Seemed okay if you're into Kakarot.
Dragon Ball fans are sickos and will buy DLC for years old games.
Oh,
so it makes sense
absolutely.
to actually
Yeah.
actually deliver money.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
probably-
actually put money into that shit for Dragon Ball games.
And it probably is part of their contractual obligation to release a DBZ game every year.
Yep. This probably states that to some extent. My God, what a contract that
probably.
made sense in the Super Nintendo era, and maybe not since.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they got in trouble because they fell behind, because I think for a while they were expected to do that for One Piece also.
Oh.
That's right.
Maybe not every year, but pretty regularly. And I think they got their ass beat because One Piece Odyssey didn't do so fucking hot, which, no shit, I played the demo for that and it convinced me not to buy the game. Because I would have bought One Piece turn-based RPG based on that conceit alone. But then I played that DLC, that demo, and I'm like, this is way too slow, guys. Have you played any fucking turn-based RPG ever made in the past 30 years?
Actually, we really based this game on a plan to destroy the Saiyans. It's our favorite RPG. You're like, no. Plan to eradicate the Saiyans. Hey, remember when we watched that?
Yeah. What a trip.
That game is unironically maybe the most interesting Dragon Ball game on the NES.
I own Dragon Power. It's about sandwiches. I can confirm it is very fascinating. And it's got that really good jingle.
Oh my God. Yeah, there it is. It's really in my head again.
And then you loop that forever. I actually own that cartridge. I was so happy the day I found that in a fucking pawn shop. I was like, yeah! That game sucks.
Yeah, of course.
Let's move on.
Sure. Then they closed out with a gigantic segment on Digimon Storytime Stranger that was just a dude explaining every single mechanic in a gigantic RPG as dry as he could, not even dubbed or anything. So it's just subtitled with him speaking Japanese. And it goes on for, I feel like, 10 minutes.
He's back, baby.
I'm like, they probably said Digimon over 100 times. Like the word Digimon. It wouldn't end.
I'm sorry.
And then they come back to the host of the main show and they're like, bye. And I'm like, why did you even do that? Why would you end your show on this?
Host just wakes up and he's like, okay, good night. And you see him actively hit the button to end the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game still seems really fucking insanely high rent and cool.
Right, which it better be at $70.
Right. I bet it's more worth $70 than Outer Worlds 2 is worth $80.
God, I keep forgetting because that's crazy.
It's fucking wild. That also means, you know, again, the implications out there that COD is going to be $80.
Yeah, absolutely. It was already going to be the most half-baked COD maybe ever made.
This is the year, baby. This is the most on fire shit has been. I would say in the gaming industry, but do we really need to be that specific? I don't think so.
I would love to see them release an $80 Call of Duty and somehow that breaks the spell. Like that extra $10 with too much.
No. I actually...
It might.
I think that's going to happen. You charge $10 more for Call of Duty. There are millions of people who go, dude, I can't afford this.
Yeah, and they already did a Call of Duty Black Ops just last year. Like, people aren't craving Black Ops or anything.
So anyway, hey, guess what? That's the end of news, right?
Oh, no.
Let's go. Hell.
Oh my God, that's so loud. Ah! Okay, we're in hell.
Bob, you do the first two because I think you
Sure.
put them in.
This original Switch. You know, the thing that's been out for 7 years.
Switch Uno, yes.
Or 8? It's been out forever.
It's been out 8 years.
8 years.
8 years.
Going up in price in Canada.
Yep.
Also
That's insane.
Increasing the price of the membership, which of course is for most systems, like new and old.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks. You shouldn't do that. How do you justify an 8-year-old product going up in price? How? There's no way this costs any money to make.
Also, what the fuck do you mean the memberships are going up? You're
Right.
not offering anything more.
Yeah.
But we need to make more money.
They even say that games are going up, so it just seems like that it's across the board, every single thing up, like price raise for Canada, because somehow, no matter what happens, everybody gets more washed than the US.
I think everyone realizes the U.S. is kind of on a tipping point. We'll find out with COD later.
Anthem servers are being shut down January 12th next year. And you won't be able to play the game because when the servers shut down, the game's just done.
The game's gone forever.
Gone forever.
I didn't know they were still around.
Yeah, no,
Fair.
we were able to play it past the mild server shutting down that they did before, which prevented certain activities, but the game was there. If only there was some sort of stop killing games initiative.
So that way I could tell you it was stupid.
No, he's back! Anyways, I guess Bob and I gotta dip our toes back into Anthem to say farewell to it. God, this next bit of news is like an entire year.
Unending, yeah.
It's just unending. This is...
Here we go.
Can we jump to the last two? Can we cover EA and then the thing after that? Because
Okay, well, okay. So, EA leadership wants 100 million players on their next Battlefield because they intend to launch it with its own free-to-play Warzone type mode.
Oh my god. What? Because they've earned it? Like, did they get social credit or something? Like, why do they think they deserve this?
Because those free-to-play battle royale games have a lot of players, and we're Epic, so obviously ours will too. The campaign is totally fucked and might not even be at launch, even though this was supposed to be like the really solid ultra
That's
premium
insane.
Battlefield.
You've already lost Bob
Because
and me.
what? Wow. Because what happened is the studio they built to make it, like I think it was called Ridgeline or something
I think
like
that's
that.
right. Yeah, Ridgeline.
They shut them down because, according to insiders, they didn't understand that a studio actively being built and figuring out their workflow couldn't have identical efficiency to a studio that has existed for 20 years. Like they were actively hiring people.
Oh my god.
Make smaller games.
Anyway, they threw out every single thing they did and put the other 3 teams working on Battlefield also on the campaign.
Oh my god.
Stop it.
This game was supposed to be out last year, and it's not coming out this year.
Whoa.
Yup.
I knew everything was messed up at EA, but good lord.
EA has internal metrics for when games are supposed to move forward that they call the gate system.
Yeah.
Like the gate 1, gate 2, gate 3. They ignored all of them this time, so this game started development without them knowing what the fuck it was.
Yeah. See, the different gates mandate certain levels of like viability and provability that you can develop the thing you've
And
pitched.
planning,
Okay.
like you know what you're making.
You know what
And
you're
then
making.
they even
you know the scope,
threw
you
out the
have
earliest
systems.
one.
And they blew right past the one that was like, and you're sure you'll ever be able to finish making this? Uh-huh. So they just gave him a pass. They. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so yeah,
And
the game's in
managers
development
inherit
hell.
the earth.
And it now seems unclear if this will even ship.
Stop this. They stop all of this.
They can't ship
This is so self-inflicted.
Battlefield game. That's crazy.
And for context, the most successful Battlefield ever had 30 million players. So
What was
less
the
than
most
1/3
successful?
of what they want. I think 3?
Yeah, that one's
yeah,
great.
yeah, that's
4
launched
is
at the
great
just right time.
because it's like 3.
Mhm.
And 4
Wasn't 4
was the
like
last good
really
one.
fucked at launch?
Yes. Launching with new consoles and other things caused a lot of network problems at launch. And now,
and
by
this
the
is-
way, I can't get back into the game on a modern system on PS5. On PC, maybe. I don't know. Anyway.
This is only semi-related, but it was in the article discussing this as like a counterpoint to the insanity of the executives. So it's a report from Game Discover Co. And this is only Steam revenue, but still, like it's like a poll where if you have a big enough sample, you can extrapolate that to everything. Only 29 games in the history of Steam in the Battle Royale, Hero Shooter, and Arena Shooter genres have made over $1 million of revenue. Only 29, all of Steam. Since 2020, only 3 have made over 25 million in revenue, being Marvel Rivals, Overwatch 2, and Naraka Blade Point.
Okay. Let's talk. You're looking at a genre in which only 29 games ever have made over $1 million.
On Steam, for clarity, we are just talking Steam revenue. But again, I can't imagine it being all that different when you taking everything into account.
Yeah.
What are
'cause
you doing?
Most of them are only on Steam.
Oh, that's the saturated market isn't the problem. You're looking at a genre that is not successful. 29 made over $1 million.
Yeah.
Ever.
MMOs aren't successful. World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV are. MOBAs aren't successful. Dota 2 and League of Legends are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that's
Battle
what I
Royales
told them
aren't
to make.
Battle Royales aren't successful. Fortnite and Warzone are.
And this is why you can tell the difference between the shift of games whose inception was deeply influenced by managers who do not have any creative talent, do not have any involvement in the development process ever, and the era before that. Because holy shit, we are just dogpiling genres that don't even have good returns on average.
And for the record, all the shit we say every week, I have had multiple people tell me, like, more than one person in the industry go, yeah, I do, like, viability assessment for projects. We tell all this shit to the executives every single time, and they go, But there's such a high potential for return on investment.
Yeah,
it's
there-
still worth trying.
There is literally no amount of risk, no statement of bare observable fact that will deter a manager from the glittering golden horizon of potential infinite return.
It's not even that. It's something they decided, and they can never ever concede that in any sense, in this dimension or any other, was anything that they believe in to be wrong.
And what I keep telling people is Sony doing this to their first party portfolio has put the PS6 as a whole at risk.
Yeah.
No one's going to remember this generation and be like, wow, I'm really glad I got a PS5 because of all those great exclusive games.
No.
They're simply not coming out at a rate that they need to. And no one's going to be like, well, I definitely need a PS6 because it's going to look so much better, because it's not going to look better enough to the average person.
This year is just Death Stranding and Yote, right?
Death Stranding 2, yeah, Yote.
Yeah, I think
And
that's it.
goes to Yote. Yeah. Like,
You have
without some kind of serious pivot, like they somehow get a lot of Astrobot scale games out the last 2 years of the PS5. It ain't gonna be like they did the same shit twice. This is just the PS3 too, where it's like, we had an amazing previous gen, time to fuck everything up somehow. Except at least the PS3 was ambitious and trying to do things.
Right, and they actually did beef up their first-party studios in order to get PS3 games out. Those offerings are amazing compared to now. Like, you're talking Uncharted, you're talking Little Big Planet, you're talking Mod Nation Racers, you're talking.
You know how many Ratchet and Clank games I had on the PS3?
Right,
5.
and now we have 1, and we probably won't even get to 2 based on what they were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that leak, that Insomniac leak had it like launch year of the PS6.
Fucking insane, God. And like, people want to say the Xbox thing is, whatever. We'll get to Xbox. But you really want to talk about just Sony has no competition and just completely fucked up. This is it. Just this insane gambling on games.
There is an
Yeah.
extremely high likelihood that there isn't a single PS5 exclusive Naughty Dog game this gen. Like, there isn't a game they designed for the PS5 and shipped on the PS5.
I will put money on there is no way Heretic Intergalactic is next gen exclusive. I bet they make
not next gen exclusive. But not like there's no middle game. The last one they made was a launch year, and this next one will probably come out a launch year.
Yeah, there's no game that's this. You need the PS5 to play this Naughty Dog game. That just simply won't be a thing. Which
I
is
mean,
kind of crazy.
Yes. It's so confusing to frame it like that because it's not like anyone's gonna get a PS6.
Well, that's the thing. Maybe someone will for that game. That
Yeah,
one
maybe-
game.
yeah.
I mean, they could, is the thing, right?
Right.
I mean, if Sony had amazing output this shit, I bet a lot of people would be a lot more amicable to it than they're gonna be.
Oh yeah, no, and
Right.
that's my core point. This whole situation's insane and completely self-inflicted. Anyways, let's move on. I want to underscore that one more time specifically. Only 3 fucking arena shooters since 2020 have made over $25 million.
There couldn't have been that many of them made, though, right?
So
looking over
Xbox is
great
bleeding
PR.
across the floor.
They sure
Every
are.
single thing about them is failing. Microsoft laid off 9,000 employees this week. Not all of them were Xbox employees. I saw people saying that it was not all of them.
Right.
They canceled several games and shuttered several studios. Perfect Dark was canceled, and hey, in what we say is right and everybody else is just fucking blind news. Multiple industry insiders, Imran Khan and Ethan Gotch from Kotaku, were like, yeah, that showed that Perfect Dark footage last year was fake. It not even a vertical slice. That was a cutscene they made to look like gameplay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Completely obvious.
We have fewer than 10,000 viewers, and somehow we're the most right people on the internet. Where's the justice?
Fucking Digital Foundry did a tech breakdown of it and couldn't perceive it was fake. More like they were willfully ignorant of it.
Yeah,
being
no,
fake.
those guys are just shills at this point.
I honestly, the number one thing isn't even that. Historically, it's the part where they watched the Hellblade 2 trailer that was clearly pre-rendered CG, and they were like, "Wow, this looks so good! It looks so good! It looks immaculate!" Even, and they wouldn't go as far to say this is clearly bullshit.
No.
For some reason, they wouldn't say there are no rendering artifacts you would see ever. For some reason, they would not go that far. I don't understand.
Anyway, in our Game of the Year 2023, we voted Perfect Dark is most likely to be canceled. And when we talked about this exact thing last May, when they shut down Tango Gameworks and Arcane Austin, we were like, Perfect Dark is obviously never actually coming out.
Yeah.
Another thing we said, Everwild is never actually coming out. That's canceled.
And we'll never know what it was.
Phil said it was coming along great this year.
Phil said a lot of things this year.
He says a lot of things.
And as a result of this, Greg Mayles, director of Banjo-Kazooie and Sea of Thieves and lead designer on Donkey Kong Country, leaves Rare after 35 years.
Yeah, Rare's shutting down. There's no other way this is going down.
No,
They just don't want-
every single thing that is going to get shut down, but the people who support Sea of Thieves. Like,
Right,
that's just
so-
what Rare is now.
And Rare will be a brand we can stamp on a fucking game when we outsource the development. In fact, outsourcing, I believe, comes up a little bit later.
Oh,
in the
no,
notes.
don't worry, Dan.
Yeah.
We have news that won't be happening. So there was a new MMORPG from ZeniMax. It's been in development since 2018, codenamed Blackbird. Phil Spencer was so impressed by it in March that they had to tell him to stop. Matt Booty was like, bro, we got to do this meeting. Stop. They canceled that. And I'm actually going to defend this cancellation because it was Destiny. And I cannot blame anybody for canceling a Destiny right now. Because it doesn't matter how good it is. Phil Spencer has maybe proven that he's not a very good judge of that sort of thing.
No.
Yeah.
Clearly not a good tastemaker in any way.
Or a
So
plan maker.
I can't really fault them for canceling a Destiny-like game.
Normally, I would take the stance of Xbox needs all the games they can get, but it doesn't matter anymore.
I mean,
nothing matters anymore.
This
they're
was-
terminal. They've decided they're terminal. They're going to ruin lives. I don't fucking care.
This was made by an actual MMO studio. So this might not have been a Destiny. This might have been an actual MMORPG. That's
Oh, no.
Destiny-like.
We like insiders were like, no, it has Destiny shooting and loot and stuff. Like it was Destiny.
But maybe it has like massively multiplayer stuff with like more than 5 guys.
Maybe,
Right, like, structurally, it was
that's
different.
pretty hard to manage even on modern platforms. Like when
Right.
you're not locked to like cooldowns and shit. But maybe.
And they also fired the entire team.
Yeah. According to rumors, everything at the summer showcase last month is safe. That means nothing else is. Hey, guess what wasn't at that showcase?
What was it?
Fable.
Yeah. I was thinking that too, of like Fable sure wasn't shown. Uh-oh.
You cannot follow news at all, and you'll know the week Fable is canceled when you come into this podcast and Dan is more upset than you've ever seen him look.
They literally made me anguish for years over the worst idea for a Fable game. And then they
7-year arc that led to nothing.
they didn't even have the decency to actually hit me.
Yeah. They're just like, I'm going to hit you for 7 years straight.
Anyway, the initiative is shut down. They were making Perfect Dark. They're just gone now. 50% to Turn A. That's Forza Studios.
Turn 10.
Staff was fired. Turn 10. Hey, maybe you should have let them actually make that game and maybe give it, like, actually finish it. And maybe it should have had music.
Yeah. Any sort of marketing,
Just a thought.
music, finishing the game,
Because
anything.
again, and we have to say this, people I'm being literal, people don't know that they even shipped a Forza Motorsport.
Yeah.
That's how nothing it was.
And should have had music does not mean the music was bad. It means they made a racing game that had no music under the logic of the unbelievably brain-broken executive Microsoft moron logic of, well, people just play their own music.
Yeah, you just have your Spotify playlist.
This game came
You
out,
can integrate.
was nowhere near fucking done, and has no support going for it to get it into state. There's no end goal in sight. They ripped the number off. It's just called Forza Motorsport. They shipped a racing game to consoles called Forza Motorsport.
I forget the name of the YouTuber, but there was some new YouTuber who's like an engineer, and he's like, yeah, I worked on Forza Motorsport as a contractor, and then they kicked me off. And when they were like, hey, it's been 6 months, you want to come back? I was like, no.
Oh, I knew of the, I believe he was an artist who worked on Forza Horizon. Maybe it was Motorsport. But yeah, same story, because that's the 18-month rule.
Yeah.
Yep.
200 people fired from King, around 10% of staff.
What? But they said they weren't going to do that.
Yeah, that was the thing they bought this whole thing for. They swear.
Call of Duty studios, including Raven, are hit with layoff. Bro, are you aware that fucking franchise is teetering on the edge of a cliff? What are you doing taking
it's
people
okay.
off it?
They have a plan.
Yeah, they do. We'll get to that in a second. Blizzard was hit with layoffs. The Warcraft Rumble team was gutted. That's the mobile thing.
What is that?
It's like a Warcraft phone for phones.
What? Weird.
Yeah, this came out last year.
And I guess they didn't tell
No,
anybody.
it came out in 2023 on iOS and Android, on Windows last year. It is a tower defense game, I think.
Weird.
They had fucking John Romero making them a shooter,
Yeah.
and they canceled it. And now his studio has to do layoffs because they just unceremoniously canceled that game. That would have been good. You could have made money on that sending it other places.
Yeah. They even...
There's no way. There is zero chance that Kojima shit wasn't canceled. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Zilch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's
OD. OD'd.
Here's the thing that bugs me. Why did any of these people get it? Like, I would like to believe I'm not some sort of mega genius. I would like to believe we're not the only people who can see in the land of the blind.
Uh-huh.
Why did so many people get in bed with Xbox? They've been a doomed brand for over 6 years. They have been consistently on a spiral the whole time.
Probably because before that Activision acquisition went through, they would just throw money at you for years and years and not care.
They had physics. They had to care eventually.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, some of the fucking news we have here is literally talking about the entire brand would have folded if they didn't acquire ABK. Like, that's literally coming up, where it's just like, literally, they would have folded it into a PC gaming brand by now if that did not go through. That is literally in our
league. I don't know. Like, bad show of judgment by Romero. Like,
so many people. It's not even just him. I don't get it.
A lot of people see, well, it's Microsoft. They're a giant corporation. They have all this money. They feel secure. And they don't see the part where...
Well, HR's here to protect me.
Right. Yeah, that is the logic.
This is the fourth mass layoff at Xbox in the last 18 months, and they have done serious layoffs plus shuttering like this at the end of each, like in the tail end or very start of a fiscal year the past 3 years. They did it in 2023, they did it last year, they did it this year. Now let's go into the next shit. This is from leaker Sneaker SO. They are the one who leaked the everything is going multi-plat things. They held the line even as people screamed, no, Phil said it was only 4. It was only 4.
Oh, Phil said it.
And I want to mention this here.
So
I want to mention this here because it's funny and we have a lot to talk about that isn't funny. And I just want to get this out of the way. The funniest way to find this was people on Reset Era being like, this person on NeoGAF who consistently leaked this stuff said this, and a mod is the first one to reply and shuts it down and go, we don't talk about the other place.
Yeah, Reset Era is deranged. Like, they don't let you link Twitter anymore and call it the Muskian site, and I'm like, just, you're doing nothing. You're just petulant and annoying. I'm glad you're dead.
Yeah. fucking wild. Anyway, so this person has a consistent track record. Their words are to be valued.
Microsoft. Yes, Microsoft expects studios to use large language models and co-pilots to achieve the same result as before, but with lower budget and fewer headcount.
That's LLMs.
They-
That's AI for
Yeah.
people who are
Yes,
not
they
familiar with
literally-
specific language.
Right.
It works. It works for Windows. They think
It doesn't, though, is the...
Yeah, no, this is
So the-
disastrous.
They are going to be. They are the first studio. Like they're the first publisher that's gonna launch a heavily AI developed game that's just gonna shit its pants and die instantly.
Yeah, they'll put out the game that's almost like 50% AI made assets, if nothing else.
It'll be the
most
worst running
obvious
game
thing.
in human history.
Yeah, I don't
They
even
will
know.
get sued somehow because it will steal somebody else's work and transparently put it in.
I don't even know how they would release it. Like, this much of the code base, it wouldn't run. It just wouldn't.
I legitimately think this is not like an actual plan somebody has to implement. We've already seen executives go, holy shit, this stove is hot.
Oh no. Satya Nadella is the one who is the hard opposite. He literally worships it like a machine god. He's like, yeah, I have all these AI advisors with different personalities I consult.
Yeah, no, I believe that they will try and shift to this and then simply not be able to release anything.
And in performance reviews, they're starting to directly ask these employees and basing their performance evaluation on it. I was like, so how implemented is AI into your workflow?
Yeah, I think it's Microsoft that's doing this thing of like, it's no longer a choice. You have to use it.
Yes, that is them. Like this
100%.
This is not like a showy thing. Like this is Satya Nadella is a true believer.
Every time I try to imagine Satya, he's consulting his AI viziers, and they all have different personalities. I all imagine they're just different versions of this guy. You have like 5 of them making different expressions, floating in shitty holograms.
Jesus.
I imagine it's like a play about an insane guy, and he's talking to people that are all obviously him in different outfits. That's what I picture. This is not the last round of Xbox Game Studio layoffs.
Yeah, which for anyone with pattern recognition is obvious.
So no one in the game journalism
except
in the
industry.
corner.
Before they had all of Activision's revenue, Xbox had basically never been profitable except for a handful of quarters in the back half of the 360. Not once. And year over year, it was allegedly never profitable.
We just need to take a moment to think about what that means. Because that means, despite how limp dick the Xbox One was, despite everything they did, despite Game Pass, despite it all, they didn't ever get more profitable than them simply making a good, compelling box.
Right. It's almost like that's the
like
important thing.
that's how capitalism
and
is
if they had
supposed
not
to work.
And if they had not had a completely insane, unbelievably unacceptable hardware flaw that gen, they probably would have made a bunch of money.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because they profited despite losing $1 billion.
Game Pass is largely stagnant and hardware sales are dead, but they're pretending Xbox will continue to exist because they have 15 to 20 million Game Pass subs and they don't want to lose that consistent revenue.
Because no matter how many times we say it, the vast majority of game journalist outlets are not letting people know this shit's dead. There's no, like, before they were dying. They are dead now. And so, like, these people won't go and fucking sell all their Xbox shit and try to get to a platform that's alive because they still think there's something alive in there.
Yeah.
They think they're going to get a new Gears and that it's going to be great.
Yeah, they have no idea that like they can walk in and buy their own dead mall.
Yeah.
The Tim and Eric $1 billion movie thing. They're like talking to the game journalists and they're like, so this console, it's going to have games, great. Yeah, it's going to be great.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, could you say that without like winking like that?
It's gonna be great.
Xbox will continue to lay off and cut until there are a handful of teams making the biggest project possible. COD, Blizzard, Minecraft, and the main Bethesda team, and everything else is going.
Yeah. Which is what we said before this acquisition happened. It's never going to be more stuff you want. That's never how this works.
And this is extremely juicy, and frankly, Phil Spencer should be executed over what I'm about to say. Activision's board internally believed that the company had passed the peak of its profitability, and its modus operandi would soon become untenable and impossible to sustain. That is why they wanted to sell.
Obviously. Yeah.
Like, no shit.
Yeah,
we were all saying that during the fucking thing.
Like, it was
this can't keep going. This is the peak.
It was like internally they're like, the only thing we make now is cotton. That's not going to keep going for very much longer. We better get out from under this.
And every year it keeps harder. It keeps getting harder and harder to do the yearly entry.
Right.
And don't worry, many of the people in Activision Blizzard leadership that caused that situation found new positions in Xbox leadership.
Well, yeah, that was really... that company did really well. Why else would we have bought them for billions of dollars? Those guys must be smart.
Fucking purge.
Yeah.
And this is yet more just no shit Sherlock things. One of the primary architects of early Xbox, Laura Fryer, says she believes, yeah, Xbox hardware is dead. They're not shipping any more of that. Like, they might ship some third-party thing that has an Xbox sticker on it, but like the consoles are gone. She is also mad, unsurprisingly, that all the shit she helped make happen in the 360 era is gone, and was, I think she literally says pissed away, but maybe that was not literally said.
She should have. That's a good term for it.
It is a fantastic term for it. Hey, by the way, who was in charge for the vast majority of time since the 360? Because I can't help but notice it's the guy everyone keeps blaming. I can't help but notice it's Phil Harrison. And not primarily Don Matrick's fault. Because every time this comes up, people want to go, but the Xbox One launch. Bro, that was 12 fucking years ago. Do you think nothing could change in 12 fucking years?
No, we were on the back timeline then.
No, you canceled every game you had in development, shut down every game you shipped shortly thereafter, like Project Spark, and all this shit, and then you did nothing to create value. You launched a whole console with no games! You want to blame the Xbox One? That's unfucking real! That was 12 years ago! The war is over! This happened now!
Yeah, it's worth noting. Like, it's pretty hard to lay all the blame on the Xbox One when at the start of this gen, the series was selling at a higher tick than the Xbox One.
Again,
then people realized games weren't fucking coming.
Yeah, right.
And
like
the library had huge holes because Microsoft doesn't consider that priority, and they fell below.
Yeah, that again had the big buff of being COVID. 2020 launch.
Yeah.
They could have, like, that could easily have saved the company if they had a plan.
If they had a plan, a game.
Yeah.
They bought an Xbox at launch and there was no game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had
How long did
already
it take?
brought out their ability to launch games.
And
Right.
then the next year, they couldn't even ship the Halo they were supposed to ship. It was like, oh god.
Yeah.
When they showed off Halo Infinite, they had to delay it the fucking whole year to get the sad fucking piece of shit that did ship.
And for the record, you can, I don't have it on hand, but there are literally charts that show like how is the Xbox Series selling in comparison to the Xbox One. It led until last year when they started announcing shit was going multi-plat, and then it fell through the fucking floor. And they had like a 5 million deficit in 1 year. That killed Xbox. It is dead. It is only the matter of time until the body figures out the brain has died.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
like
and-
the
and-
whale's not alive, guys. It's just full of gas still.
Yeah, like, and Phil Spencer and other people high in the company will keep lying to you. That is their job. They will pretend this is fine.
Microsoft rushed out to say, we're not getting rid of Phil Spencer. He'll retire nobly after the next Xbox comes out.
What did that fucker say? Like Xbox is looking stronger than ever or some horse shit like that?
Yes. After we fired all these people and shut down these studios.
I mean, they fucking fired the hardware team even. The understanding is even the hardware team is gone and they've outsourced that to like their partners for the next Xboxes. because they're not fucking consoles.
Right.
The idea of an Xbox itself is farcical in the modern era. Good job. You have completely dissolved any meaning of your brand. Do you realize how stupid that is?
No.
You
They're all
own
too
one
dumb.
thing
Yeah, no, that-
and you made it worthless. Like, that's what
that's-
we're talking about.
And somebody like went through the text, and that statement Phil Spencer put out was almost certainly written by AI. Like, I think they directly compared it to Copilot, what Copilot spits out. It's like, yeah, it's the same shit.
I sat here thinking, I'm not going to get excited because I'm dead inside. I'm not going to get loud and yelling because I'm dead inside. We've been dealing with this fucking arc with Xbox for 5 fucking years straight. 5 fucking years
6,
straight
but
from...
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's been on the decline, but they had a chance in 2020. But we really found out they weren't going to fucking try in like May of 2020. When they went, this is it. You're impressed, right? And everyone went, no. What are you talking about?
So
And
yeah,
it's just been shit since.
if you're working for Xbox, please find another job.
Yeah, go
Because
fucking
you're
don't.
not keeping that one.
Because check this out. Check this out. The next time, if you get fired the next time, that's thousands of other people being fired at the same time, now in competition at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Literally the worst.
Fuck everything. Fuck everything about this. Like, I've been seeing people who are like, Microsoft is a fucking outsider. They always have been. They never had the best interest of gaming in mind. That kind of implies a noble nature to PlayStation and Nintendo that I maybe don't appreciate.
Right. No.
But there definitely has been this, they think they can absolutely quarter-ass this and win this whole time. That's why they lost. That's why everything got dissolved. They didn't feel like fucking trying since the launch of the Xbox One. At no point did they feel like, oh, we need to earn this. Oh shit, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. And I fucking hate every time Phil Spencer's done an interview and he blamed the Xbox One. It's like, no, dude, you had so many chances. There used to be this thing in the industry where people would compete. So competing doesn't mean you exist in the same space at vaguely the same price doing the same thing. It means you offer something more. No one in this room can say fucking anything that the Xbox offered more than the PS5. Because the only thing they did was back compat, and they stopped that years ago.
Yeah, instead they kept campaigning on, console wars are dead. We're over that. It's like, what are you doing? Like,
Don't compare us to our competition. We're
Right.
over that.
It's like, well, yeah, you're dead. That's how you're over it. You failed.
They didn't lower the price of their subscription.
No,
they didn't
they
ship
put it up.
compelling software in the least or overfund development to get more games made, which, by the way, for people who are completely ignorant of this shit, when you do that, that means more games are getting made. I know people constantly bitch about these console exclusives. But the reason this shit is in the situation it is because there is no funding for games coming from Microsoft.
Right.
There's a misunderstanding there between buying the exclusivity on a game that already exists and funding the production of a game to be an exclusive.
Yeah, which I've never understood why people are so against that. It's like, people need to be paid to make a video game. Turns out it makes sense for the payer wants it only on their platform to give value to the platform.
Yeah.
You're supposed to have that.
That's the whole deal with Death Stranding.
Right.
It's Sony's fucking engine. It's Sony fucking visual arts group. It's Sony financial support in all these different ways. Gets it made, and it's even published by Sony.
Yeah.
That's how shit works. Especially in an industry where all of the publishers stop trying.
Right. Every single one.
Yeah, I keep seeing the unbelievably dumb and myopic take of like, well, console exclusives seem like they're over. And I'm like, do they? Because the most successful platform on the market has the most. The least successful platform has the least. And the one that has rapidly had their fortunes change over the past few years pivoted away from it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, this is like some of those dumb guys who are like, people like Bernie Sanders because he's Bernie Sanders, not because of any of the things he says or endorses. That's a real stance that a lot of journalists have.
Oh, I don't doubt that. Believe me,
But yeah,
I
like,
do not believe
people
the
don't-
stupidity
people
in
don't
journalism
irrationally
ends
like
at video
Nintendo.
games.
Right.
people don't irrationally like Nintendo. They like Nintendo because Nintendo consistently releases high quality things in genres they like.
Right.
Which was what Sony was doing and could have actually genuinely competed with Nintendo on that level had they not slit the throat of everything so Jim Ryan could delude himself into thinking they would have 15 Fortnites.
So, I'm trying to think of what's the good wrap-up statement here on Xbox. We warned you. We've been warning you for at least 5 years. We warned you every step of the way.
Every single thing we have said has come to pass pretty much, except our most obviously joking, cynical things of the game coming out next month will be canceled. And that'll probably happen with Fable.
Yeah. Again, if you didn't see that showcase, it's probably canceled already, and they just haven't told anybody. They're gonna let them work on it for 6 more months and then fire them.
I find it completely unfucking real that they would show Fable this year and then cancel that shit before next year. But I don't like the alternative of they're gonna ship it with a massively reduced staff and AI shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god. AI Richard Ayoade.
Oh my god.
Spewing
no.
AI jokes.
No.
Honestly, I'm not sure AI jokes are lower than what I expected that game to come in at.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like the worst those will be is probably incoherent.
Well,
it won't be the actor they hired loudly going, "They say this cave hasn't been visited in 100 years, but there's lit torches," and then stare at the screen.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking about too. Hey, remember Contraband? That's gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that shit's canceled. There's fucking no way that still exists.
Yeah, remember any game they're announced and published and haven't shown in the last 2 months? It's canceled.
I still just keep thinking about Everwild. Like, what the fuck even was that?
We will never know.
It was a bunch of loose concepts, a bunch of different people couldn't tie into a cohesive game, and then they got to just stare at that for years.
So hey, in June of last year, shortly after Microsoft's financials, Avalanche closed its Montreal and New York studios and laid off 50 people. I wonder what could have happened to make them do that.
Yeah, this shit sucks. I'm tired of Microsoft.
Yeah.
I'm frustrated enough at Nintendo and Sony. I don't need the most destructive, biggest, stupidest asshole
Yeah, they don't
to
need
be here anymore.
Right? The two are making mess of a mess. Come on.
It's so sad that these stupid assholes are doing this to Xbox, completely dissolving the concept of it, any value it might have, either as a symbolic thing to the players of it or the developers as an ecosystem, while they're sitting there worried about the Steam Deck.
God.
Holy shit! We had one of the most popular consoles of a generation, but let's not worry about that. Let's worry about the Wonder Swan. It's coming for our ass.
It's Sega will get to live on forever as being the console, like one of the big console guys.
Yeah.
I don't know if Xbox even gets to have that status because of the way they are crashing out. The way they're becoming like a weird fake system and everything instead of actually just being like, we're done. We'll publish stuff. Like, Sega did it so much more gracefully, which is insane. That wasn't graceful at all. They did their own falling off a party table.
Yeah, but like you can look at, like, if I brought you, like, physically, if I brought you a Genesis, I'd be like, this is a Sega Genesis. And you'd be able to go, yes, that is a Sega Genesis. Decades from now, I could bring you a Series S and be like, this is an Xbox. And you'd say that meme is old and skateboard away.
Yeah, or I might think it's a 1X or something. I don't know.
Or
I'm not sure what it
1S,
is.
probably a 1S.
Yeah.
But which version? The first one or the second? And which version of Series S are you showing me? Because they look different and I get scared. They're such morons. Every single person in the Xbox division. Every single person. You know who should be saved? The people in the studios. You know who shouldn't be saved? Everyone in management at Xbox.
Oh yeah, no, every one of them should be.
Yeah, I'm
exiled.
gonna give unmitigated praise to Aftermath for putting up the following article with the following title. Has Microsoft considered, instead of laying off hundreds of people, they could lay off one, and it's a picture of Phil Spencer as the picture.
They're correct.
Based.
Yeah.
The best part, and this is the best part, but it's kind of a sick irony, comedic moment of, you know why people are willing to, blacklist Microsoft and not cover their games, which we're starting to see some outlets say they're going to do because of, what is it called? The protest specific to Microsoft?
You talking about the BDS boycott?
BDS, okay. I did remember correctly. I just don't know what the... Anyway, the only reason they feel extremely comfortable doing that is it won't affect them.
Oh yeah.
If Microsoft was shipping important, relevant games, it would affect them a shitload more, and I bet a lot of these places would feel less comfortable doing that. But no, that doesn't matter. You think?
Yeah,
you
what are they
think it's gonna
supposed to
affect
not
them,
to like? Are they going to deny you access from something?
Like what? Well, not only that, it's just like, what will our audience be upset we didn't cover? Outer Worlds 2? Call of Duty?
Man, Obsidian is so fucked.
They are so fucked, and they don't deserve any of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fucked up that they're absolutely gonna gut everybody who isn't working on fucking Grounded 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I see a note in here that wasn't covered. Something about Jez Corden crying.
Oh yes, over Laura
Fryer.
Yeah, Laura Fryer saying all this. He got incensed. He's like, maybe someone who hasn't been at Xbox for over a decade should shut up. Maybe they don't know as much as they think. I can't. I desperately have to. Excuse me. I have to go DM game journalists, other game journalists, and scold them for not reviewing an Xbox game highly enough.
Yeah,
a real thing I did when Starfield came out. Literally nobody in my industry likes me. I'm a joke.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is a guy who had to apologize that he isn't a real journalist because everyone pointed out what an unprofessional shitbag he is. And he got all weepy and cried about it. He's like, I didn't want to be. This is bro. You wrote on.
You run Windows Central.
What are you talking
He
about?
runs it.
Yeah. What?
He's like editor-in-chief of it.
what?
I'm an unprofessional shithead, but I have the courtesy to be right.
Yup.
It helps.
Can they just be done?
Yeah, Microsoft.
Yeah, just
yeah.
please,
That would be. I honestly.
like, this
that's the
should've
point
just-
we're at.
This should have just been like, yeah, we fired everybody. We got it out of our system. Because that's what.
Well,
we're
no,
heading
that's
towards.
yes, but it'll take until 2029, 2030 for that to fully
yeah. So it's
bear
gonna
out.
be many more years of this.
You know, honestly,
It'll probably happen the year after they ship the PC Xbox. So
Yeah,
2027 maybe.
I'm honestly sitting here and I'm like, if they aren't completely done by 2028, I will be impressed. Like if their studios, 95% of them aren't just literally dead by 2028, 3 years from now.
Yeah.
I'll be impressed.
And to go back to the Sega comparison, like Sega has all these amazing IPs people still love and will forever, like Sonic the Hedgehog. You've somehow managed to make Halo and Gears of War so bad and so
Lame.
and so just not affecting
Yeah, they're
anyone.
irrelevant now.
Like, yeah, they're completely irrelevant IP.
Yeah. The only relevant IP you own is Minecraft.
Yeah.
And you bought it. Good job.
And I think every single attempt to do anything with it, I think has failed, other than Minecraft itself and the Minecraft movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, any other comments? We gotta end this at some point.
Right.
Which sucks because this is like one of those important. This is an important episode. This is a historic event.
We were so right again.
Next year when this happens, we'll have to do 3. We'll have to do. We were right about Xbox.
It was obvious.
Afterlife.
Part 3. After
Like we have to come back out every time another wall falls in, while people are still in the streets screaming, "No, it's not on fire. That building is perfectly fine."
we'll go into the derelict Xbox laboratory. We'll pull open the disk drive of the derelict 360. Phil Spencer's CG ghost will come out and we'll all give him the finger and then he'll fade away.
Oh man, if the AI market crashes and then somehow that just makes all of Microsoft spiral downward, that sure would be interesting.
Yeah, at this point, I'm not even sure what's the downside for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, this AI shit still doesn't make money. Like, nobody is willing to pay what it costs to operate, and
But we've seen that's not stopped anyone. They run Xbox for 25 years.
the purported like they expected like the cost to come down if they hyperscaled. That did not happen. And they expected the cost to come down as they made these models more efficient, which doesn't seem to ever be happening.
So I wasn't gonna bring it up because bringing it up in a thorough capacity makes it sound like I'm pro AI.
Okay.
John Carmack's company finally unveiled what they've been doing in the AI space.
Oh no.
One of the interesting things he pointed out about AI development is how when you have certain metrics and benchmarks for judging your AI, it turns out that instead of making an actually better AI in general, you're just making something aimed to do better at benchmarks.
Yeah, obviously. Unless you're a moron, didn't know that would happen.
As it turns
Oh,
out,
you're all stupid, right?
Yeah, they're all
You're
stupid.
AI guys. You haven't thought a single thing in your life.
yeah, Carmack's just literally like, this is why we're training it in different ways when we're doing our thing anyways. Because of course he's doing AI, he's John Carmack.
Yeah, of course.
If any AI model that isn't a colossally embarrassing piece of shit comes out, I can believe John Carmack was behind it. John Carmack's some kind of bizarre superhuman. He regularly goes on retreats where he spends 3 days in a Motel 6 in some random city and comes back like knowing a new language.
God, I'm so envious. God, fuck.
Like Civi's jokes about, architect of the post-singularity John Carmack ain't a fucking lie.
But yeah, interestingly, same deal as other AIs. They're talking about they're just gonna open source or whatever. They're done with the first chunk anyways, and it's just like yeah, that's obviously to everyone the best thing you can do.
John Carmack is notoriously anti-copyright to the extent that he routinely has had clashes with people that it has worked with. Is like, you're not copywriting anything I've ever done, I'll walk. Because he fucking despises copyright, because his whole thing is, why am I not allowed to use the solution somebody else found to a problem?
Yeah,
that's asinine. John Carmack's a very interesting guy with some serious mental hangups, I want to say, because I don't think you can be that smart and not.
Right.
But like, he was raised heavily Christian and put in like an extremely punitive religious school. He tried to steal a computer by using thermite to burn open the lock to a computer lab and steal a computer from the school.
Based.
And when asked, he got punished more harshly because he refused to lie and pretend he was remorseful. And he's like, no, I wanted the computer. And he's like, why did I get in trouble for telling the truth? I thought you wanted that. So he got sent to like a home for troubled children. And it's not hard to see why somebody who grew up in a highly religious, punitive environment is like so intensely anti any kind of authority. The way he is.
Yeah.
But he's also just a little bit deranged, where he's like, yeah, my cat got picked up by animal control, but I'm gonna keep working. And John Romero's like, dude, they're gonna put her down. And he's like,
Anyway, I thought his talk was interesting. However, it is AI focused.
Yeah.
Hey, remember that time John Carmack was wrong about VR displays?
Yeah.
And he was like, we need to drive displays at 1,000 frames per second, and that'll solve it. And then people at Valve were like, no, just blink the screen, motherfucker. You turn it off and then turn it back on, and that changes the motion resolution. And he's like, oh, I was wrong. I'm like, wow, when are the monitor people gonna figure this out? We have 1,000 frame per second monitors. And I'm like, just do the fucking scanline shit. We now have a fucking open source fucking shader. Fucking use it. Anyways, that's fine. John was only wrong about that 12 years ago. We can't learn Anyways, we're done. This is it. I'm turning. Get out of here. Stop burning. No more industry. We're taking it away until you can treat it better.
Yeah, that's really what's gonna happen.
Yep. So, reminder, just underscoring this, you might have noticed none of us said fucking dick all about Death Stranding 2. I got pissed that they were selling it early to people for extra money, so I bailed on that because of that. You throwing money at Pipistrello is so much more fucking important than fucking Death Stranding 2. Means the world to the fucking indie dev. It doesn't mean shit to Kojima or Sony. They'll be fine. There's no world where it's like, oh, it did so poorly, we're not making Fizzit or whatever fucking now. Ah!
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm gonna wait till it's cheaper.
Yeah, $70 is too much for a video game.
It's too much for a video game in the audacity, the slap in the face, the cock slap in the face of being like, oh, this is a very important spoilery sequel to a game. We're gonna let these assholes have it early because they paid extra. I'm like,
Yeah, no, it's disgusting.
so yeah, none of us got it. Not trying to state this like it's a protest. Just sincerely, your money means so much to fucking indie devs who absolutely need it. And none of the shit in the AAA space matters. Because mismanagement is ruining it all anyways.
Right.
Anyway. What's up, Bob? Anything you wanted to...
No.
No?
No.
Here's the people that need your money. Indie devs and handsome YouTubers who run great gaming podcasts. These are the only people who fucking need your money. Tomorrow, we will be... Hey, there's no need to be specific. It could be any of the four of us. Thank you. Tomorrow, we will be playing Golden Axe Beast Rider and ActRaiser, as you get to vote for what the next theme month is on GigaBoots. It has been forever since we have done a theme month. It has been since Sonic Month. It has been almost a year.
Yeah. Insanity.
Fucking wild. Chris, what are you... Wait, he's over here now. Chris, what are you...
I am doing a tier maker stream on Saturday. Please get your submissions in before tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific, because that is when I'm gonna do the clerical work and pull them and get like the order settled and everything.
You hear that, Agro?
We have
ready.
Oh yeah,
we have one.
That's what I'm doing tomorrow morning.
We have one last second anecdote that came out. Oh, no. So you know the movie Sinners? This isn't game related, don't worry.
Oh, thank God.
You know the movie Sinners, real popular, made a shitload of money, had an incredible deal for the creator. A lot of the costumes worn by extras were made for Marvel's Never Going to Happen Blade film that Disney sold. Because remember, at one point it was going to be a period piece.
Oh my God. Man. That's so
Where's the fucking Blade movie? How can you watch... You let Deadpool be rated R. You reference Blade in that newest Deadpool movie. Just make a Blade movie. Just get the director of John Wick and say, write a Vampire the Masquerade campaign and then film it.
Black Panther is one of your most successful movies ever. Blade's right here.
And a Blade movie doesn't even have to be good.
No, it doesn't.
You proved
Yeah,
that
Blade
at
2
least
isn't
once.
good. Blade 2 isn't good, but it's awesome.
Right. It just has to be better than Blade Trinity. That's all it needs.
You ever think about how Blade and Ellie from The Last of Us have almost identical backstories? Because Blade's mom was attacked by a vampire while she was pregnant with him, and that's why he's a Dampier. And Ellie's mom was attacked by a zombie while she was pregnant with her, and that is why Ellie has the immunity.
You're right. She has all of their strengths and none of their weaknesses. she can walk and bite
See,
people, but she's
Yeah,
also not blind.
I was gonna say that. I would give The Last of Us 2 a point if like she had gotten the ripping the neck tendon out with her teeth animation that clickers can do to Joel in The Last of Us 1.
Yeah,
Who's the real monster?
obviously her. She like Akira out and like stretches out her arm.
Now, Craig, there's still a way you can bring this back for season 3. Just have the Ellie eating people arc,
right?
And then Blade shows up.
and it's Wesley Snipes because this is a post-apocalyptic future, so it makes sense he'd be older. Blade pulls out that stupid fucking sword that's like a straight katana. It's literally that meme about Twilight where they just pull out from Edward and Bella and Blade is standing behind them.
Allegedly.
Uh-huh.
OD isn't canceled. Would you like to hear my source?
Sure.
A Windows Central article written by Jess Gordon.
You buffoon.
He says.
He clearly his sources, if he has them at any meaningful ones at all and isn't just making shit up, is obviously someone feeding him marketing and he doesn't care.
Yeah, no, like he doesn't have
carries
sources. He
water.
has handlers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he is a surrogate. He is a brand surrogate. He does
He's
marketing.
an extension of the marketing arm of Microsoft. Yeah.
To the degree that like game journalists getting mad at him flat said like, yeah, Microsoft pays this motherfucker. Which I certainly have no reason to disbelieve.
Right.
Why would you?
Yeah, no, every single sign points to that.
You maybe can't use this metric 100% of the time, but as a general, he had that breakdown over people calling him like a gutless corporate shill. Hit dogs holler, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, that's gonna do it for this episode. A big thing to mention.
And then I hit the buttons.
If you want to try man dip instead, why don't you dip on over to patreon.com/GB podcast, where you can dip into your pockets and help out some handsome YouTubers who cover video games for a living and also not eating completely terrible or mediocre at best dip for your chips. That's patreon.com/GB podcast. Dip, 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 dip.